things on our plate for you. One, the committee that investigated the Ridge Hospital brouhaha, or assault as you may call it, concluded its work and submitted its report to the minister this week in line with the marching orders. And the committee found no evidence of assault against the lady in question who claimed that she had been assaulted and she had a dislocated shoulder. That appeared to have been an interesting one because that dominated the discussion that some persons led by one Ralph St. Williams, a social media activist and an activist in many things, went to the hospital with some persons claiming to be in an emergency situation and disrupted proceedings at the emergency ward. So it came as a big deal for the committee to say they did not see any evidence of assault. They said the persons they spoke to could not corroborate the lady's assertion that she had been assaulted, and even in the manner that she claimed she was, to the extent that she had to be admitted and all of that. They only said they found in her folder that she was treated with painkillers and asked to bed rest, but there was no real evidence of joint dislocation and all of that. We'll look at that. They also made some recommendations, which includes retooling the facility. One of the key things which led to the whole matter was that the hospital did not have certain diagnostic imaging facilities like X-ray, MRI, or CT scan, and so they had to send the emergency unit patient to outside of the hospital for those tests to be carried out before the emergency unit could make some determination on the real diagnosis or problem the gentleman who had been involved in an accident presented with in the hospital. So we'll look at the issues that have come up. Some persons, like the Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, are disputing the report, saying that the report leaves much to be desired, etc. We'll delve into all of that. Now, we have a big election ahead of us. The Akwatia by-election is upon us the coming week on the 2nd of September. Both parties are, fighting tooth and nail to win that particular seat. The seat occupied by the MPP, but the MPP did not occupy it in peace, quote unquote. They were in court over the election result of 2024 in respect of Akwatia. The deceased MP was in and out of court on contempt charges and a few other things. Eventually, he died. And so the NDC has fielded a candidate. Interestingly, the candidate the NDC has fielded this time was lawyer for the candidate in 2024. And it's interesting that he has become the candidate now, beating his client or former client, and to become the candidate. It does appear that both parties are working so hard on the ground. Indeed, Musa Danquest's Global Info Analytics puts the NDC ahead of the MPP in this particular election. We'll delve into all of that. Security, judging from what we saw at Ablekuma North, the IGP has assured that we'll have a very peaceful election, deploying about 5,000 men on the ground, and we hope that it turns out well without any incident. We will look at all of that as well. We will box that together with the conviction and sentencing of the persons who caused some chaotic scenes at the Ablekuma North constituency. The court yesterday sentenced them after they had been convicted earlier to convicted them to 500 penalty points, which is equivalent to 6,000 cedis each, in default of which you were to serve 24 months in prison. Many have hailed this as progress. Others have also lampooned and castigated it as a slap on the wrist. Where do you stand in respect of this? This is mainly what we have for you this morning. We'll take a short break. We'll return and we will provide some updates, introduce our guests, and we'll delve into the discussions. This is The Big Issue. I am Selom Adunu. Don't go away.
Looking for a one-stop shopping destination for all things made in Ghana? Eager to experience a remarkable fair that showcases the richness, creativity, and innovation behind Ghanaian products and services? Then get ready for the This is Ghana Exhibition 2025. The This is Ghana Exhibition highlights the brilliance of Ghanaian entrepreneurs, artisans, and businesses who continue to shape the narrative of homegrown excellence. This is Ghana's biggest trade fair and exhibition, bringing together SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing sectors, indigenous corporate bodies, and local creatives in one exciting space. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2025. Come explore, engage, and be inspired by the businesses and brands that are redefining made in Ghana across every sector. Get ready to be thrilled by live performances from Kwampa and the electrifying Inchin Band, adding music, rhythm, and culture to the celebration. The dates: Saturday the 6th and Sunday the 7th of September 2025. Time is 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. The venue is the A4 Sutherland Children's Park. For enquiries or participation details, call us on 0205-973-973. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by MTN, EcoBank, Side Hustle by EK Brand Consult, Ghana Enterprises Agency, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Ghana Exim Bank, and AVV Rice, and is supported by Twillium Industrial Company Limited and Built Financial Technologies. Curious about what's happening beyond your borders? Beyond Borders takes you there. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m., join Caleb Kuda as he explores the stories that shape our world, connecting you with Ghanaians in other cultures and seeing the world through their eyes.
So we've learned one thing: you leave your shoes outside. Wow.
Tuesday, yeah. I won't go to Ghana dressed in a Lacoste.
As director of operations.
From international politics to the human stories that define nations, Beyond Borders brings you a fresh perspective of Ghanaians around the world, one conversation at a time. Beyond Borders with Caleb Kuda airs Wednesdays at 7 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Nation full of questions, where truth often hides behind noise, one show dares to ask what truly matters face to face. With fearless clarity and a quest for accountability, host Umaru Sanda Amadou sits down with the movers and shakers of politics, governance, society, and business, confronting the issues that define our national conversation.
The party itself has said that whenever you are in opposition, you should choose flag bearers early.
So what you are trying to tell me is that you want somebody who is going out to come and select a leader for you. So the next person will come and say, but I didn't select him.
Direct victim of attack, violent attack.
Where and when?
The first one happened in Parliament. I was pregnant.
Now, for me, it was legitimized by a radio or TV station giving her a position to work.
So for you, take issue with GH1 and what and giving her the platform.
That is where the minority is. We are on them. We've asked questions.
President Mahama will be a mean president if he prioritizes only his children and DCP. He needs to demonstrate a Ghanaian government.
Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou on Face to Face as he digs deeper, challenges power, and reveals the stories shaping Ghana's future. Only on Channel 1 TV.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensah.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensah.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together.
Welcome, it's Play to Aid.
Get ready for the game show where every play has a purpose. Welcome to Play to Aid, the only game show where your knowledge and skill don't just win you prizes, they help change lives.
What sport is considered the most popular in the world?
Football.
Every point you earn goes toward real-world support, from school supplies to health kits, clean water to emergency relief. Play smart, play big, Play to Aid. Catch all the action, the drama, and the heat.
Most commonly spoken language in Brazil.
Portuguese.
Play to Aid every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Edna, let's begin.
The Play to Aid game show is proudly sponsored by Tang Palace, Giraffe Island, and VVIP.
Hello, you're welcome back. This is The Big Issue. We're live on 97.3 City FM. We are on our socials and also, of course, live on Channel 1 television. I am Salom Adunu. Three key things we're looking at this morning. We're looking at the Ridge Hospital brouhaha or assault. We take a deep dive into the committee report. The committee presented its report in the course of the week to the minister and made a few recommendations that will help improve our healthcare delivery. The committee made some findings, quite interestingly as well, that there was no evidence of fracture or dislocation of the victim in the said matter, and a few other things we will delve into. Also, the Akwatia by-election is upon us this week. We'll see Akwatia voting to have a new MP. As you may well be aware, their MP, Eskumi, passed on, sadly, a couple of months ago, and as it is law, a new election will have to be held to elect a new MP. The two parties are working at that election as if their whole lives depended on it. And the NDC wants to win it because this is a swing constituency, and indeed, they were contesting the result of that particular constituency before the MP sadly passed on. And so we will look at the MPP thinks that it was their seat, and so they will do whatever it takes to retain it. The police have assured the public that what happened in Ablekumanov will not repeat itself. The police, the IGP has been there. He has deployed some 5,000 men to see to the election. Musa Dankwa, who is a pollster, Global Info Analytics, has put the NDC candidate ahead in that particular one. We will see the reasons why he says the NDC is likely to win that particular one. Also, the Ablekumanov rerun, you recall that there were some gentlemen who attacked some persons, Hawa Kumsin and a few others. They were sent to court, they were convicted, and they have been sentenced. They've been sentenced to 500 penalty units in fine, which works out to 6,000 Ghana cedis, in default of which they would serve a jail term of 24 months. People think that it is progress, others think that it's just a slap on the wrist. We'll look at the analysis of this. But before that, let me provide you some updates. Now, the committee set up by the Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta Kando, to investigate the assault at the Ridge Hospital has found no evidence to support claims that Rejoice Chochobote, a rotation nurse at the facility, suffered a shoulder dislocation during the said incident. Presenting his report to the Health Minister on Wednesday, August 27, Dr. Lawrence Oforibuedu, the chairman of the committee, noted that the alleged victim reported her injuries a day after the assault on August 18. However, medical records showed no signs of a fracture in her left wrist or a dislocation in her shoulder joint.
Although there is videos evidence of verbal or word altercation between one Mr. Raff, his colleagues, and the staff members of the hospital, we are yet to receive any video evidence or a witness account of an alleged physical attack or altercation. There is, however, documentation in the hospital health information management system that the alleged victim, that is Miss Rejoice Chochobote, who is a rotation nurse, reported her injury to the hospital the day after the incident, that's on the 18th, and was further treated. There was no evidence of fracture on her left wrist or dislocation of her right shoulder joint as documented by the medical records. She was, however, had been treated at the time we visited. Had been given some pain relief, he has been recommended for a bed rest, and also has received psychological support care. The third objective, the state of security at the hospital at the time of the incident. Honorable Minister, the committee finds out that the security at the emergency department was grossly inadequate at the time of the incident. The hospital security arrangement of one private security personnel per 12-hourly shift at the emergency is inadequate, considering the volume of human traffic at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital emergency. A police post that is found at the premise of the hospital, but situated far away from the emergency, is also of concern. And the system is that anytime they have such altercation, the hospital has to rely on Adabraka Police Command to call for help. And that's exactly what happened in this instance. The last but not the least objective was that the committee also found that the number of staff on duty per shift in the hospital was woefully inadequate. The number of medical officers in the month of August is 1 doctor per shift. That's 3 medical officers per day who are permanently working in emergency, supported by 1 specialist per day. Any other doctors who come there as a team to attend to cases and go away. A total of 7 medical officers and 2 specialists were available on duty for a month of August as emergency room permanent staff. We also found out that, for example, out of 88 nursing staff who routinely work at the emergency department every month, only 54 are currently on duty at posts, with about 34 of them already vacated posts for various reasons. This has brought extreme shortage in the number of nursing staff who also support the emergency medical doctors.
All right, so that was Dr. Lawrence Oforibuedu, who has also been detailing the response of Ralph St. William, the gentleman accused of perpetrating the confusion and the chaos on the incident. Let's hear what he said about that as well.
One of the persons we invited is Mr. Ralph St. Williams to come and testify to the committee. He agreed to come, but on the day of our appointment, he called with the lawyer that he would love to make a statement for the committee to use instead of being there personally for his own personal reason. So the committee agreed to receive a statement and evidence from him and his lawyer. Honorable Minister, I must say that I have just a brief summary of what he presented. The exhibit are all attached as a full document for your review and understanding. From his statement copy that is attached to our report, the witness stressed that his distress and frustration was escalated by a nurse who made provocative remarks in the context of emergency, and this triggered his response. He also stated that at no point did he physically assault any medical staff or witness any person from among the bikers assaulting a hospital staff. He also made another assertion that no patient was intentionally filmed or videoed or targeted as his recording, because everything he did was targeted toward the delay, and that he thought the committee and any other person must have that urgent concern to see. And the last submission we've had from his 6-pager report, that he has submitted 4 video exhibits, including a Facebook live video, as evidence to assist the committee, and the committee actually gone through and you have given a report in your recommendation.
All right, so the committee has also been making some recommendations following their investigations.
With respect to Greater Accra Regional Hospital Emergency Department, that's RICH Emergency Department, it's imperative that the following measures must be considered at your honorable office to, as a matter of urgency, to forestall any future recurrence. 1, we need to improve, there must be improvement in security presence at the emergency, the ambulance triage area, by adding at least 1 personnel more at the gate and ensuring that the gates at the ED are always manned by security personnel. Additionally, we also propose that the CCTV cameras around is very limited to some of the care areas. And so we propose that if it is not for any privacy, they should add on some more CCTV to give evidence and also ensure that the staff will know that somebody is monitoring them in their work. Also, the police office present at the mortuary area, we propose that at least at the weekends or night duties, the police must be present to support the emergency security, to just back up the 2 private securities they have. Number 2, Honorable Minister, we also recommend that you take immediate steps to support the recruitment of additional clinical staff. For Greater Accra Regional Hospital, we focus on staff who will support emergency care. The next recommendation was that you also address to restore the capacity of Greater Accra Regional Hospital in providing imaging services. For example, X-ray, CT scan, MRI, which are all 40 at the moment. And we believe that that is actually some of the gaps that is perceived to be delaying care at the emergency, even though doctors normally attend to clients on time. But the services for imaging is done outside. And then the 4th recommendation, Honorable Minister, was to appeal to your office to recruit additional administrative managers to serve as client service officers or customer care staff at the emergency department. We find that most of the time people come in there, but the customer care and client services is lacking. So people come in and get stranded, they don't know what to do. Whilst the emergency staff are also busily attending to patients. So we need to beef up the client service aspect of the emergency care. Other recommendations we added on, Honorable Minister, was to build human resource capacity for holistic emergency care in the country. This one goes beyond reach. And then when we are able to build that capacity for emergency care, it will minimize the rushing of people to the regional hospitals and then the pressure we are seeing now.
All right, so that was the chairman of the committee addressing presenting the report to the minister who set up the committee. But I guess this morning, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, former health minister, welcome, Bernard. You used to be a regular on this show until recently, but he's back. Jefferson Asari, Greater Accra chairman of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Fred Agbanyo, Honorable Member of Parliament for the Guan constituency. Franklin Kojo, President Imani Africa. Dr. Nanayawa Akwada, Executive Director, Bureau of Public Safety. And of course, Dr. Theo Champon, who's a political risk analyst. These are my guests this morning. Gentlemen, you are welcome to the program. Let me start off with you, Bernard. You are a former health minister. Your predecessor was embroiled or engaged in some situation. A situation befell the country, let me say it that way. The Ridge Hospital was under some attack by some persons, supposedly. And he moved in there to make his presence felt. But when he was coming out of the meeting with the officials of the Ridge Hospital, he was met by the gentleman who allegedly created the chaos. And this whole controversy is taking a different turn because people claim that he was nice to the gentleman. He smiled with him. And he said he's a minister. He has to be fair to everybody. He couldn't, upon hearing one side, be judgmental. And so he asked the committee to do somewhere. The committee is presented this report, which is what we are looking at, and all of that. You have observed the things, read and watched some of the clips. As a former minister, what's your thinking around the whole thing? The conduct of the minister, the conduct of the officers or officials at the hospital, and everything put together?
Well, let me thank you very much for the opportunity. And Selom, you know this is my house.
So we are just saying we miss you.
I mean, if for any reason the outlook or the way it's appeared is that, when Doctor became minister, we didn't see much of him. Maybe it's because you didn't invite him.
No, we did not say anything.
Because yesterday
we just said we missed you.
Yesterday I was somewhere and then I got a call from my assistant that, City says, are you available? So I said, check. Why not? If the space is still there, I'm here. So let me say that I'm happy to be back.
No, we're happy to have you.
And Fred is my brother. I'm happy that he's gone to Parliament, and I wish him the very best. I'm also, let me acknowledge my brother here, chairman. He's a big man, chairman of all nurses in Accra. But an interesting thing, the nurses on a light note appear to have issue, or there's back and forth with minister or the ministry. And for some reason, their chairman looks like a candle small. I was telling Fred, you know, so
I get to hear that.
Yes. So let me say that I think, you know, it's unfortunate that we had some of the things that happened at the Ridge Hospital some few days or weeks ago. You know, I think what also became a little bit problematic is that the gentleman is known to have been involved in activities, if I don't have evidence that he's a member of the, let's say, the NDC, but activities that inured to the benefit of, let's say, the ruling government. So there were some who thought that his unruly behavior, I mean, if you look at the video, as for his behavior as a physician, I can say straight away that it's a no-go area, it's uncalled for. I mean, look, you don't enter a place like the emergency ER where people are on the edge between life and death, where failure to administer a particular intervention at a particular time as a result of your disruption at the place can lead to the death of the person. So I don't know why, as a country, it's not debatable. We should not go there in terms of his behavior. The assault is another case, but just the mere disruption at the ER, it's like someone going to misbehave at a sanctuary or a holy place. You don't talk about which item he broke or didn't touch. The most important thing is that being at such a place is not correct.
But is that in contention? That's not in contention, is it?
That's why I'm saying that. So that alone is condemnable, and that in itself should be the substance. You know, people now move to the other leg of whether he hit the nurse or didn't cause a dislocation, and they've actually conveniently moved away from the act of disrupting activities at an emergency. That's my point. That this guy deserves absolute condemnation for, and look, me, although I'm a physician, there's the occasions where I've gone to a hospital and I'm not happy with, let's say, the department orientation of the staff in terms of their proactiveness and all that. But there's a way to go about it. Sometimes the first question I ask is that, who is the senior most person here? I want to talk to the doctor on duty. You go to the man who has discretion and supervision over the others and go like, please, I see that ABC is not proper. In fact, anytime you ask for the boss, that alone makes people start behaving because they realize that, no, this person has an idea of how to check a system. So I'm just saying this thing so that I let you know that I appreciate the fact that sometimes the urgency you see at an ER might not be what you expect. But there's a way to go about it. In fact, if you watch the video, other patients and relatives were telling the gentleman, calm down. You could see the signaling. Why were they doing that? These were ordinary men. They were telling him, in fact, I will not be surprised if some of them even had issues also. But they were like, calm down, because they could see that his behavior could endanger other lives. Now, fast forward. Unfortunately for my brother Akando, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then video or motion might be 1 million. The interaction that went on between him and the gentleman, the warmth was too much. See, we are not saying, I heard him say that, oh, we should have taken off my dress and like fought him or, no, that's not what they're saying. But sometimes, I don't want to say emotional intelligence, but you have to read the situation. You are going into a place where some of the staff feel that they've been intimidated, assaulted, whatever word you want to use. You are entering such a zone. You want to put up a behavior, especially when the gentleman has a background where people assume or feel that his confidence to do all this is because he felt that his father was now the headmaster of the school. See, that's one analogy I was trying to put up, where a kid thinks that my dad is in charge of this school, and so is acting in a way that other students wouldn't, or the normal, they have the confidence to do. So that warmth made people go like, is this minister really for his ministry like workers, or is for this gentleman who belongs to or who is assumed to be sympathetic towards their cause.
But he's minister. He's for the nurses and he's for Ghanaians.
No, I understand. But my point is that on a normal day, although you are for the whole country, you are the overall father of the ministry.
You are the one they will come to.
Exactly. So we are not saying be antagonistic to Raf, but you must show concern through your actions.
So how would you, if it could have been you, so how would you have dealt with it as minister? If he came to you the way he did,
you see,
whispering into your ears.
I mean, if you meet a friend, there are things that show that, this relationship is beyond normal. Where I give you a handshake, we hit at the shoulder, I tap you on the chest, whisper. All those gestures were sort of unfortunate. But there's a strict, do you know there are different types of handshake? You shake someone and then it's okay. It means that it's formal. Even the fellow, that signal, someone can look at the handshake and say, this handshake is strict, which means there's something, this minister is not happy with something. And so I'm not saying you should have pushed the guy, but if I were the Akando and this guy is even familiar, my handshake would be strict. And that would signal to him that things are not normal. I'm in a tight...
But he said he didn't know the guy.
Well, but with all due respect, I don't say that Akando is not being honest. But if you're a politician, is it every citizen you meet that you go beyond handshake, you hit at the shoulder? No, there are some gestures when you put it. It shows that if you don't even know the guy, you've had some information that maybe this person is a friend or is sympathetic to us. But you see, don't let me go there. The point I want to make is that after the incident, the commentary from social media and some actors or sympathizers of the NDC, like this government, it's our government, but those sympathizers of the NDC, they started going at the GRNA, the gentleman, Tinkrine. It was like his picture was being posted on pages and all that, and people were like insulting the nurses that they were not being on, they were lying, they were dishonest.
I'm mixing the issues. The Tinkrine gentleman came in later. Because of some comments.
I want to lay a quick foundation. So before even the committee was set up, the thing became like a banter between the minister, unfortunately I'll say so, the minister and Ralph on one hand, and then the nurses on the other. The picture started looking like, in fact, people started calling before the committee started they should apologize to the minister. What's the name? Tinkrine should apologize to the minister. Meanwhile, remember, this minister is receiving disaffection from some people because they feel that he was too warm to this gentleman. So when you now start attacking the nurse head, the spokesperson of the nurses that apologize to the minister, it's like you are confusing the matter. It's like making the victim rather come and say sorry. And so if the minister who is now being caught in this web is the one who summons or commissions an investigation, from the word go, there is some difficulty. I will not call it an intrinsic bias. But this gentleman who was reading the report, the chairman, he's a worker at the Ghana Service. I don't know whether his position has changed. He was one of the directors there.
Institutional care.
Yes. So he's going into an investigation where he has an idea of what his minister would have liked. Are you know what I'm saying? No.
But how do you know
but that's why I gave the background. Before he even started his work, people are calling on the nurses to apologize to the minister.
No. You're mixing the issues. The people calling on the said nurse to apologize, as in Mr. Tinkrine is the one we're talking about, who is the secretary, the national secretary.
Yeah.
It was because he made some comments that he's just a farmer. Meant to be. Wait, let me finish. You come in.
That's what you said.
Which was meant to be derogatory.
With all due respect, sir.
Yeah. No, let me just lay the foundation. So that was where people started calling him out.
But you see,
so once you say that, you set up one system against the other, and it will become political. So that is detracting from the main. Let me provide some other context.
I'm not doubting that.
Yeah. So the ministry, the ministry, so that we don't confuse the issues. The ministry was clear. After that interaction, the ministry issued a statement and it condemned the so-called assault and the chaos and all of that happened there. Let me just quote the first paragraph of that statement. It says, the Ministry of Health has taken note of the unfortunate incident that occurred at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, RAGE, emergency department, and categorically condemns the act of interference, aggression, and assault on health workers. It goes on and on. But this is just to provide some idea that the condemnation of the act by the gentleman, I mean, nobody qualms with that, all right? But the issue then was the lady allegedly said that she had a dislocated arm, etc. And the minister wanted to find out the full extent of what happened because he was called in.
All right.
He wanted to understand what happened. So I'm not sure that the committee was in a hurry or had an idea of what the minister wanted.
Now, I'll show you why I am.
Said that?
Yes, I'm not. Why they feed into this perception that they were in a hurry to more or less say that.
To vindicate the
yes.
minister.
You know what? It's not just the farmer comment that made people started coming at the nurses. Some wanted the head of the nurses to have acted in a submissive manner. Not to even, because the nurses were not happy with the minister's handling when he went there, the way he was warmed to. And people, I saw that sympathizers of the government were not happy. Now, my brother, if I hit Fred, Honorable Agbenyo, I can hit him with blows 10, 20 times. If a doctor examines, it's possible you not find any fracture. They mention tenderness. Tenderness means when you feel the person, you touch, the person would react, which means there is pain. Now, why did the committee report say that there was no dislocation? And the whole country is talking about dislocation and will not speak to evidence of you being hit for a couple of times. The nurse tells you, I was hit severally from many places and I have a dislocation. Let's grant that the dislocation is not true. What about the tenderness? Even the committee says that she was given painkillers. Was it for fun? Why are we trying to behave like until you get a dislocation, you've not been harmed? It's so sad. I feel so sad for this country. The point I'm making is that why is it that we all talk about a dislocation? And now look at how the thing is being framed. The victim who was manhandled is now being portrayed to the whole country as a liar. And you watch social media and they are saying that, so are these people also nurses? My God, I mean, it's so sad. Fred, please, with all due respect, if you are a committee, you say you didn't find dislocation. What about the polycontusion that was mentioned? Polycontusion just tells you that if you watch the fellow's skin, there are changes in the skin as a result of trauma. Salom, nobody is talking about the polycontusion. And we are in a hurry to find something which is inconsistent with a claim the lady made. She's not my relative, for Christ's sake. And you know what? Politicians, we are very funny. Do you think that if we were about to go for general elections, and this happens between an individual and a nurse, and the nurses as a body start to state their disaffection or how do you call it, their dislike with how things have been, you think this is how it would have been treated? And do you know one thing that also tells you that it's as if someone is being treated with kids' gloves? Even people who post pictures on social media, police goes for them in the night and says that they are to assist in investigation, not that they've even committed a crime. And then you have someone who is caught on video in a very aggressive manner, even to invite him for questioning, not even if no detention. It's a problem. Do you realize that until now, nobody in this country has had the confidence to call him to near any police station? Look, let's be straight as this country. Sometimes we go around the issues. There are some who feel that their government is in power and they're acting funny. See, forgive me for digressing just a little. See these guys who were arraigned before court and given 6,000 each. If I know that I can go at someone that like they say,
it's an issue we'll come to.
Okay. So Salom, long and short is that it's a missed opportunity. Now, look at the picture. You have a nurse. The video all shows that there was some manhandling, if not even a dislocation. And then when you finish a report, all you are telling the world that this nurse didn't get a dislocation. Does that pacify? Does that make them feel that they've been appreciated or someone has shown consent to them? So all I'm saying is that, look, and see the way the gentleman acted later. He went there, and this time he was taken on by the administrator, who told him that, to hell with this, your behavior. It's like you feel that you can do whatever you like in this country. You know, so the subsequent action, the gentleman's own subsequent action, tells you that the way he was treated in the beginning was with kids' gloves. You know, so I can't raise my brother. I'll beg of him. The health center is a very large place. I know he's trying to do his best. I mean, it's unfortunate that he happened to be in this matter. His physical presence at Ridge made him more or less a party to the matter. If he had not been there physically, if Akando had not been physically outraged, had even sent someone. Yeah, because now you can't take away the optics of his interaction with the gentleman. With all due respect, everybody has mentioned that. If he had not been there, that would have been avoided. And if
that appears to be the main thing. Actually.
Exactly. And if that had been avoided, I would even give a lot of credence to this committee. But immediately the boss of the sector was caught up in these whole activities. And then he institutes an investigative body headed by a subordinate. I mean, already the one doing the work knows that he must watch how the outcome would be. And for the police...
Then if that's the point, then nobody will be able to do any objective reporting because...
But are you not surprised that the nurses are even saying that they were not invited? In terms of... Look...
Which nurses?
I'm talking about they said they spoke to staff at the place. Did they mention the staff?
Yeah, they spoke to a number of people.
Who did they speak to?
They spoke to the nursing officer, emergency ambulance. They spoke to the senior nurse officer, public health. They spoke to a number of people. They spoke to a number of nurses.
Did they speak to the doctor?
Head of nursing and midwifery services. Yes. What's the name of the doctor? They spoke to about 6 doctors. 6 doctors. I don't know which one treated the woman.
If they spoke this report, if the report would miss anything, one thing it should never miss is the examination findings of the doctor who treated this nurse. Because a doctor seeing a nurse will make comments on what they see with their eyes.
But are you suggesting that because they said they called for the folder? And
No,
so
but
they saw
why,
the records.
why would you call for the folder when you have the opportunity to speak to the one?
We don't know. I don't even know whether they spoke to her or not. We don't know.
There's enough evidence to tell that they didn't speak to the doctor.
No problem. But where's the doctor?
The doctor's name is here. The doctor
No,
is
what I
still
mean,
there.
where's the doctor?
The
The doctor
doctor
was not contacted at all. Is that
Not
what
at
you're
all. His name is not even in the...
All right, we're not seeing the full report. So I would just assume that the name is not here, which means she wasn't spoken to. But they call for the records.
Yeah, you see,
and they looked at the records.
You have the opportunity to do an investigation.
I get that.
Yes.
So
these are primary actors.
Yes.
If I wouldn't talk to anyone at all...
You talk to the one who treated her.
Exactly.
Yes. But we don't know the circumstances under which she wasn't spoken to.
All right.
Maybe she was not around. Maybe I don't know. Because it's not here. No, we don't know. But what I'm saying is
that alone is a defect to the report.
No, if she was not available and so they couldn't talk to her, that we can't fault. Okay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the committee also didn't make a comment on that. We understand it's a bigger report. This is just the highlights.
Yeah,
we don't know whether that has been captured in the main report.
If they wanted us to make comments based on the bigger report, they should have more or less.
That, yes.
You know.
So that we can agree. Hopefully, it's been captured in the main report. But I'm saying that in the absence of that, which obviously is a challenge, they call for the folder. Whatever the doctor would have seen or diagnosed,
and all the folder
would
wrote
have
is
been
that
written.
all the folder is that there's no dislocation.
No, they said there was no evidence.
The folder is here.
There's no. You can send it to me.
There's a lot to be desired on this report.
You can send it to me. So because now you are the only one holding it, you can send it to me also.
So you know what makes me have difficult in putting my how do you call it seal on the genuineness or acceptance of this report is because they are in a hurry to speak to what is not there and not to what is there. You know what I mean? So that is the difficulty. And it is my hope that for the sake of morale, to be honest, the back and forth will not help anybody. Going forward, for the sake of morale in the, how do you call it, in the service, I heard one of the committee, either a spokesperson at the ministry or one of the members of the committee saying that they didn't handle the criminal aspect. They sort of left that to the police. For the sake of morale, the ministry should be interested in what happens on a criminal matter.
Okay, very well.
Interested in us in following up to see whether some collapse and things are.
So Dr. Bernardo Kuboy is the immediate past health minister. That's why Kambu gave him quite some time on this too, because that was his position, and he's a physician as well. Now let me speak to Jefferson. Jefferson, the committee had terms of reference, and if I could put the terms of reference on the screen, the mandate of the committee was to investigate, among others, 1, the circumstances that led to the alleged delay in providing care to the patients brought under emergency, the events and factors that escalated into an alleged assault of a health professional. 3, the state of security at the hospital at the time of the incident. And then 4, the number of nurses and doctors who were on duty at the time of the incident. So Jefferson, it does appear that obviously the committee was working within the terms of reference it was given. You said you have some reports.
I've sent to the number that called. I've sent to Fred. Right. So I'm sure he was good to you. All right, and first of all, before I get into the substantive matter, I will want to say that Ghana Registered Nurse and Midwife Association, we do not have any qualms with our health minister. He's our minister, and he will remain our minister, and we'll cooperate with him to make the health system better. But in that case, when we are not happy about situations and happenings, I don't think that we shouldn't talk or we shouldn't say it. So this does not mean that if we are demoralized, we shouldn't talk about it. And it is something that is happening. So we are ready to work with the minister. We'll accord him with all the respect. And so far, we want to remind him that for 8 months now, nurses have been working without salaries. For 8 months now, 8 straight months. And these are nurses who are posted all over the country. You are not allowed to choose that maybe you are in Accra or you are in Kumasi, that's where you stay with your parents. So you can work in Kumasi. No, the system will post you around Tamale, Boga, Wa, my honorable here is constituency. Some people are posted from Accra to that area where you need to go and rent, you need to feed, you need to take transport, everything. And for 8 months, these people are not being paid, not even allowances or whatever from the facilities in which we work. And we are calling for quality health care in Ghana. This is an irony. How do you staff somebody that long and you don't pay the person, you don't even seek for the welfare of that person, but you still insist that the person provide quality care? It can't happen. We have nurses who are doing their rotation, also 8 months now, who have not been paid.
But is it 8 months? You made a point last week. The 8 months is a fact, but is it new? That's how the system has worked.
Whether it's
new. We just need to establish that.
Yes, it's not new. It's not new.
And the former health minister is here.
It is not new. I'll
find out from him why
it is not.
So
it is not new, and it is very sad. If we are calling for quality health care, these are some of the cardinal things that we need to be looking at, because you can't staff somebody for 8 solid months and think that the person will.
And you said this is a rotation nurse.
We have.
No, wait, let's understand it. This is a rotation nurse. So who is a rotation nurse?
Somebody who is in service.
So who is in service? So he's not supposed to be paid?
No, he's supposed to be given allowance.
No. So wait, let's clarify this. Somebody who's on rotation.
I've spoken about 2 categories of people.
You cannot say that a person who's on rotation is being owed 8 months' salary arrears. All right? We just want to clarify that.
Yes, and I'm clarifying. I've given you 2 categories of people. There are people who have been employed. They are not doing service.
Yeah, but this person we cannot say is unemployed. We just want to clarify that.
Yes, and I'm clarifying. I've given you 2 categories of people. There are people who have been employed. They are not
employee. It's a rotation.
Paid by the ministry.
Yes, but I'm saying that this person has not been paid for 8 months because this person is not an employee.
But the allowance should be paid. So what should the allowance be? It's an allowance.
He's talking about 8 months of salary. Nurses have not.
I'm saying that.
But she's not been working for 8 months.
Hold on. I'm talking about 2 categories of people now. We have people who have been employed 8 months. There is no allowance. It's not a service. They have been employed, given employment, whatever contract signed, everything, and it is 8 months now. They have not been paid. That is one category of people.
Someone wants you to talk about the lady too. What
the lady is a rotation nurse.
Yes. So hers is not salary.
Hers is not salary, but an allowance.
But I don't know how long she's been working.
8 months.
So she's been working alongside the nurses for 8 months.
Exactly.
And that's a fact.
That's a fact.
This program. It's
a fact. That's a fact.
That the said nurse has been employed or has been working at the regional hospital for 8 months.
And
she's not a staff
allowance
member.
Has not been paid.
She's a rotation nurse.
Exactly.
And a rotation nurse is like a national service nurse.
Exactly. All right. Exactly. Thank you. So I beg the minister. I know he's an action man. So she should at least attach some sort of action to this, because they need their salaries, especially those who have been employed and in the system working, breaking their backs.
What's the relevance of that to this discussion?
It calls for it.
What's the relevance?
The
because
relevance
dealing with an assault.
The relevance is quality care, because whatever we are talking about, the end game is the quality of care, such that Ghanaians will be happy.
That the nurses that were not paid, that's why they were.
Oh no, that is your attribution. That is your attribution. That is not mine.
We need to be clear.
That is, so I go on to this is an appeal.
No, I'm proving the issues.
This is an appeal I was making.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you see,
this is an appeal I was making.
Jefferson,
now I'm going to a substantive matter.
There's a possibility of people confusing the issues.
Yes.
All right. In fact, when we spoke last week,
right,
and you spoke again on point of view, sure, I went out to find out who a rotation nurse was, right, and I understood it. Okay. And also, you made a point that nurses have not been paid for 8 months,
exactly,
which was easy to confuse with this particular rotation nurse. That this is somebody working on empty stomach, doing her best, breaking her back, and you visit such mayhem on her. Right. But I'm trying to separate the issues. Exactly. That this one first is a rotation nurse, exactly, which is equivalent to a national service nurse.
Yes.
And so a national service person doesn't take salary.
Yes, but
they
an
take
allowance.
allowances.
Yes.
But we don't even
allowance
know,
has not been paid.
We don't even know about the 8 months. Okay.
I'm confirming it to you.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out from you what the relevance of nurses not being paid for 8 months has to do with this particular
the psychological stress the person goes through is very detrimental to the client. Okay. You don't think so? You are going to work empty stomach. That's more dangerous than any other thing. Somebody who have not received allowance for 8 months, the person needs to be paid. The ministry needs to pay that person. That psychological trauma, stress alone is something more dangerous than what we are even discussing here. Yes, silently it will affect a lot of clients. Silently. Because we need a morale, we need a psychological support to be able to work.
Because we assume that, of course, the report says that there was no delay, which vindicates the nurses who were working on empty stomach. It vindicates them that there was no delay.
I am coming to the report.
Yes,
for the report, I must say I am very sad as a nurse, and majority of us are very sad, and we are very disappointed, and much more we are surprised. Such a committee can come out with this report. Very surprised. I want us to touch on some few things. One, the background of the committee's report was to go in and investigate the incident that happened on that said date.
So if you have the terms of reference, let's kindly put that on the screen.
Yes.
So we interrogate that.
And I'm very serious about the point 2, where the assault is. That was categorical. That was straightforward. Go and look for this. So that is it. The circumstances that led to the alleged delay in providing care. And let me read from here. The event and factors that escalated into an alleged assault of the health professional. This is where I want to focus my discussion with. If you look at, you have been sent to go and probe, you are a fact-finding committee to go and look into an assault. It's an alleged. So yours is to come and prove that was there an assault or there was not. As to the resultant effect, that one, you don't have any mandate to even suggest so. Was there an assault? If there was an assault, then you go further to investigate the security state of the hospital and make recommendations to what? I want to establish that. And if they were to go and investigate assault, I know a legal person was there. What is an assault? What are the elements of assault? The intention to cause fear or harm. The act, what you do, is it causing the fear or is it causing the harm? And the imminence of the threat of the harm. These are elements of which I expected the legal brain on that committee to know. You don't need somebody to broke the ribs before you establish an assault.
No, wait, but the fracture and the dislocation.
At no point in whoever discussion did anybody say there was a fracture. Nobody has ever said so. Nobody have ever said so. The dislocation to us was confirmed by the director of the medical director, Ridge Hospital, was confirmed to us. The dislocation was confirmed, and I repeat, when we went, the association, when we went and we met the director, the dislocation was confirmed to us by the medical director. The medical director also confirmed that at the time of the incident, he was there. This, I want to establish that. Then we understand, if the committee goes in there, they are investigating people. I will be surprised for you to tell me that the committee could not find time to investigate the doctor that saw the lady the following morning. In any way, when you talk about dislocation of the shoulder and you reduce the dislocation, when you take X-ray, it will never show a dislocation again. Doctor is here, he can confirm it. When you have a dislocation and the dislocation is reduced, you will never find a dislocation on an X-ray again. What is the committee trying to tell us? So they expected to see a dislocation the following morning after the X-ray have been taken. What kind of an system is this? The doctor said that there was polycontusion. Look at, I have sent the medical report.
I have it, yeah.
We can read the medical report. Polycontusion secondary to physical attack. So is the committee trying to tell us that the doctor does not know what he's talking about? The doctor does not know his work? Sorry, her work, because it's a lady. The doctor does not know her work. But like, what kind of, you see, what they are doing is causing a lot of issues among our rank and file.
Who is doing?
The committee, the report they've done, the ministry, and what, you see, you cannot gang up against us. No, it won't help.
What has the ministry done? The ministry,
the committee, yes, and the committee has done a very poor work.
No problem. And the committee has done its work.
Yes.
So why are you bringing in the ministry? The ministry just instituted a committee, and the committee has presented its work.
You have sent me. You said a committee, almost every one of them working for you. And when you talk about Ghana Health Service Code of Conduct, it has when you are setting a committee, there was no member of the Ghana registered. There was the director of nursing. But
they are administrative people. So.
But it's categorical. The association member should be there.
The association member means the executives.
Not necessarily the executives.
The
association will nominate.
The association members. I'm a member of the GBA, right?
Doctor has been there before.
The
association will rather nominate somebody for you. You don't nominate the person for us.
Why do you say the association was not there?
The association was not there.
Okay, so the association was not there.
The association
but we have nurses there nonetheless.
There was a nurse, a director under your own ministry.
And the nursing officer, emergency ambulance was there.
No. These are people that they interviewed. It is different from the committee.
Okay, you mean the committee members?
These are the people they interviewed. The committee members. There was a director there. But when we go into fact finding.
Yeah. So let me just go to the committee members.
Right.
Dr. Lawrence Oforibu, who is chairman, director, institutional care division, Ghana Health Service. Mr. Wilfred Ado, member, head, internal audit, Ministry of Health. Mr. Lawrence Lawson, member, human resource, Ministry of Health. Mrs. Evelyn Amuaku, Deputy Director, NNM, Ministry of, I think, Nurses and Midwives.
Also at the
Ministry of Health. Abubakar Mutu Rahman, member, legal practitioner.
Ministry of Health.
Mr. Tony Goodman, member,
Ministry of Health.
Director,
Head of Communication. How do you?
Let me finish.
You said a committee to investigate your own self.
Dr. Ebenezer Odro Mensa, co-opted member, secretary, deputy director, clinical services development. Ghana Health Service
Exactly.
head office. Yes.
So you see, you set a committee to investigate your own self,
wait.
in any way. See,
let me also clarify.
In any
this.
way.
Let me clarify this. The incident happened under the ministry or Ghana Health Service.
Yes.
The incident. The incident is not just the assault.
Right.
Circumstances that led to the assault.
Exactly.
So the assault perhaps is secondary to the prior happenings. So what led to the assault?
Right.
It's a sector problem. So which people should have investigated it? Ministry of Education people.
We have no.
Are part of the ministry.
Yes.
You could have taken health workers from other agencies. Why all these people are directed by the ministry?
When you tend to speak for them, you struggle because
no, I'm not speaking for them. I'm dealing with what
it is
you
clear.
have.
In any way, I don't doubt that these people could do a good job. I don't doubt that, but there are clear policies. People who are supposed to be there, they can be there, but the policy indicates that the member of the association should be also there. Where's the member of the association? Let's continue. You see, the committee came out that it did not see any footages that suggest that there was attack on the nurse. And I asked myself, at the trauma area of rage emergency, there is no CCTV camera there. There is no CCTV camera there. So if this astute committee tell us that they are waiting for a footages, they are waiting for a footage to confirm physical attack, where would they get that footage? Like magic? Where will you get that footage? The trauma area where the incident happened, there is no footage there. There's no CCTV camera. So you want to rely on the images the said person you are investigating, rough guy, sent to you to confirm the attack. If somebody enters here to come and attack you, will the person deliberately film himself beating you? It won't happen. It won't happen. So you are waiting. Whilst the doctor who saw the person is there, you didn't see it prudent to call the doctor.
We don't know that now. We don't know why.
I am telling you on a fact that the doctor was not interviewed. The doctor was not called to be interviewed. It is the head, the HOD, head of department, that was called. But in any case, this is a fact-finding committee. So the person who was there, the person who examined, he did a diagnosis, polycontusion, and it tells you that secondary to physical attack. What is polycontusion? There's a swelling, there's redness, there's pain. What caused that redness? The committee said that the lady was taking pain medication. Was the pain medication for menstrual pains?
I don't know. The menstrual pains people also take pain medication.
Yes, so that is the reason I'm asking.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Was the lady taking the pain for menstrual pains? So if now you tell me that there was no physical attack.
So they say it's secondary to the assault. The polycontusion is secondary to the assault, which means that the polycontusion is a result of the assault.
So the assault should have resulted in fracture. Is that what the committee is saying?
So let me speak to...
You see, it is not fair. The committee wasn't fair in their dealings.
They were not fair because they didn't speak to the doctor who examined
their reports in any way does not speak to the actual happenings on the ground. What have caused the 88, which is woefully inadequate nursing staff at the emergency, reducing to 54? These are the things we need to be discussing, finding solutions to it, such that our health system will grow. But to go there, set a committee to exonerate somebody who enters, cause mayhem with hooligans at the emergency, the ministry shouldn't see us as being against them, but rather those doing that as being against their ministry. We are ready to cooperate with their ministry, but if you do or act in a way that will demoralize us, it will cost the ministry much more than what the guy is now working about. He was there at Rage again.
The following day?
No, some few days, I think 2 days, where the administrator said he will not allow him access to the facility.
Why was he there again?
It is left for me and you to answer. I don't know what the
I thought you had the answer. Very good. So just Dr. Akwatia is on Zoom. I'll talk to him soon. Fred, this is despicable. I mean, a gentleman walks into a hospital supposedly with some difficulty or with some injury, and then causes mayhem. Allegedly beats to pulp.
In one say they greet
they greet Fred. Your nurses are listening. Allegedly beats nurses or a nurse to pulp, and the committee comes up to say that there was no evidence of fracture to her left wrist or dislocation, etc. Your general view about the results or the reports by the committee?
Salam, thank you very much. Let me say good morning to our viewers, especially the good people of the Republic of SAR. And my brother, my friend, Honorable Kobo, I haven't seen him in a while, and my friend Jefferson. Salam, I don't think that anybody has any right to walk into any health facility or any institution in this country and assault anybody because they disagree with them or that they are not happy or satisfied with the work they do. Nobody has any right to enter any facility, be it a hospital, a media house, a market. You can't enter anywhere and go and beat anybody or to go and assault anybody because you are not satisfied with the work they are doing or because you think that they've not treated your patient the way they are supposed to treat the person. And so to that extent, we need to condemn that act. And I am happy that the criminal aspect of this particular issue has been reported to the police. The police are supposed to investigate. If the gentleman is found culpable, he must be taken to the laws of the country to serve as a deterrent to anybody who wants to take the law into his own hands, walk into any institution to go and beat anybody. I condemn it on certain terms. Sometimes it's even difficult to contribute to conversations like this because I say every day, it's not everything that we must reduce to partisan politics. We can try as much as we could to be objective and look at the reality. If you have monitored all the commentary over the period, depending on who is speaking and where he comes from and the way he views the whole issue and how he presents and puts it across, it's not healthy. We can discuss an issue, what is wrong is wrong, what is right, without being honestly emotional and be honestly politicizing it to the extent that we have gotten to. You just mentioned the names of the persons who were constituted as a committee to investigate the happenings at Rich Hospital. These are not just any group of persons. Salom, can you mention the names for me once again? For the purpose of our viewers. And the position that they hold in the Ministry of Health.
Dr. Lawrence Ofori Boedu.
He's a medical doctor.
Yes, Director, Institutional Care Division.
So he's the Director of Institutional Care, all the institutions. And the Ministry of Health. He's the one who is in charge of their care. Ghana Health, Ministry of Health.
Wilfred Ado, Head Internal Audit, Ministry of Health.
The whole internal audit, the head of internal audit of the Ministry of Health, a member of the committee.
Lawrence Lawson, Human Resource Ministry.
So the Human Resource Director.
We don't know if he's a director or not. Maybe Dr. Huwe can help, but he's from the
ministry. From the ministry.
Yes, and then Mrs. Evelyn Amuakum, Deputy Director, Nurses and Midwives at the ministry. Mr. Abubakar Mutu Rahman, Legal Practitioner at the ministry. Tony Goodman, Deputy Director, Head of Communication in the ministry. Dr. Ebenezer Odro Mensah, Deputy Director, Clinical Service Development, the Ghana Health Service was co-opted and he was secretary.
You see, we should learn to give, some credit to people's intelligence. And let's respect people the same way we want them to respect us. These are not mere persons.
Yes, but will you consider it a gap in the work of the committee, if indeed the doctor who attended to the said lady was not spoken to?
As we speak here today, we have not been able to establish if it is true that the doctor in question was not spoken to.
But the names of those spoken to is here.
Yes, but you don't know.
Her name is not here.
You don't know her name. Do you know the person?
No, then I have the medical report, at least what has been shared with me. The name is here as Dr. Dr. Jennifer Ya Obudai?
I will be surprised if the first
senior medical officer.
I will be very surprised if the first doctor who attended to the patient was not invited or her report was not, included in the final report that was submitted. I'll be surprised. That would be.
They said they looked at the report, but from what is here, she was obviously not spoken to.
I'll be surprised why the committee will not invite her. Because
so for you, that will constitute a gap in the work of the committee.
Of course, we can raise that. If it is true, I'm saying if it is true, I don't know. If it is true that they didn't speak to her at all, they didn't seek her view at all, that would be a gap. Because she has a first opportunity to have seen the patient at first hand, when the incident occurred. And so she can best give an accurate account of what she saw with her eyes and her experience touching the patient and all that. And so there's no way you can produce a report like this without factoring in her view into the report. So yes, if indeed it is true that she was not spoken to, her view was not sought before the report was concluded, that is a gap, or that is something we need to look at. But I'm saying that we cannot question the integrity of these persons who were put together.
But if a key witness is not invited or it's not being spoken to,
we are speaking now.
That raises some issues. So the integrity matter could be that they deliberately decided not to talk to the person.
We are speaking to assumptions. We are speaking to assumptions. We are not speaking to facts.
But the fact, though, is that the name of the person is not here, which we can safely
you alluded to.
We can safely conclude that by the name not being here, it means she was not spoken to.
In your introduction to this subject, you said that when the committee that was set up presented their report to the minister, they said they were not going to go to the entire report, and that they even attach evidence or exhibits that the minister can read and understand and appreciate what happened. So they were just giving a summary.
We understand there's a full report.
There's a full report.
But the point I'm making is that in the summary, summary is a compilation of the most salient points.
Yes.
So if the person who attended to the victim firsthand is not here, that is a very salient point to meet.
I have established that if it is true that she was not spoken to, her concerns were not taken into account.
And that may go to the integrity of the report itself.
Hold it. I'm saying that the person, I would have been happy if we can get one of the person, even Tony, what is the name? Goodman, who is the Deputy Director of Communication. If we can get him to speak to us, maybe we'll get some clarity. If indeed the doctor was spoken to, if a view was captured in the report that was presented to the minister. As of now, we are not too sure. Just because her name didn't appear here.
And this is what we have, and this is what we're working with.
Yes, so we are conjecturing. We don't have the, we are not. I'm saying we are going to the extent that we don't have the full facts. We only have limited a summary of the fact. I agree that speaking to that particular doctor is a very, very, very important issue that should have found expression in the summary that we are speaking to this morning. But it's not there. Does that mean that it's not in the general report? Does that mean she was not spoken to? Could there have been an omission for which it is not here? These are things that we cannot directly provide any answers to. And so I am wondering, all the health agencies and bodies work up to the ministry. Is that not correct? They all work up to the ministry. And so if an incident occurred at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and they didn't pick anybody from that hospital because they feared that, okay, because he or she works there directly, and so there may be some bias. So let the mother association, in this case the ministry, handle the issue. And we sit here and then we question the ministry, and we make a claim that it would have been better for us to have picked doctors from other facilities, or to pick people from other facilities, and that would have been more credible than these persons that were selected. For me, so the minister is so powerful that he can compromise all these people. What would be the minister's interest in the first place? To skew the report for him to gain what? Now, there is no evidence that the Honorable Minister, Honorable Akando, pushed anybody at the Rich Hospital, insulted anybody at the Rich Hospital, assaulted anybody at the Regional Hospital. Today, if you know where the Ministry of Health is located, it's so close to the Rich Hospital. And so a minister hears that there's something going on within one of his institutions. Graciously, he ran out of his office because it's that close, right to the scene. This gentleman that you are saying that assaulted the person, the Honorable Minister is saying that, I don't know the person. I've never seen him before. All of us as politicians, how many times do people rush to us, embrace us, hug us, So I'm fighting with my wife in the house. I'm bitter. So when I come out and I meet my brother Okuboy and he hugs me, I should frown. I should stretch my hand in such a way to know that I am not a happy person. What kind of logic is this? If it were the case that the minister stood there watching this guy assaulting the people, insulting the nurse and doing all those things, and after doing that he came to hug the minister, then we have a conversation. The minister walked in after the incident has occurred. So at the time he was even hugging the gentleman, he didn't even know if he was involved in the brouhaha. He didn't even know if it was a nurse, it was a doctor, whoever he was.
But he was told that is a gentleman.
So when they told him, what did he do? Did he carry him at his back subsequently? Did he call him
the problem was that the interaction was too cozy for someone who had come to create such a mess.
At the time he did that, he didn't know he was the one. At the time he met him, that the gentleman allegedly embraced him and whispered into his ears, he didn't know who the gentleman was.
No, he had been told that this is the guy coming. This is the guy.
No, the information I have.
No, but Tony Goodman confirmed on this show.
Well, whatever the case.
Tony Goodman was there. That the minister didn't know him. It was when the gentleman was coming that he told him that this is the gentleman.
I pray that is the case. But you see, sometimes we leave the substance of issues and we trivialize and introduce, very irrelevant issues into the conversation just to dilute the real facts. I was surprised. Not really surprised. Of course, why should anybody work for 8 months, 10 months, 1 year without a salary and allowance? That's condemnable. Everybody who is serving this country must be paid. Everybody who has worked for Ghana or has rendered a particular service to the nation must be paid. That will motivate the person to do his work very well. If you work here at CTFM for 8 months, they have not paid you, how are you expected to get work to come to work or to even have the peace of mind to come and work? And so that is a subject we can discuss. And we can call on whoever is responsible to pay those who are working to pay. You see, but when you make the point, as he did, that these persons have not been paid for 8 months. And so how do you expect them to give off their best to give us quality health care? He said categorically that cannot happen. I was listening to him. That cannot happen. Could that be a justification that because they have not been paid for 8 months and yet he went to work and because he didn't have the frame of mind, they sat back watching for the victim to go through what he went through?
No, but that position is not supported by the committee. Said they were attended.
No, I'm just questioning his logic now. He said that. I didn't say it. I sat here listening to him. No. You heard him. You tried to interrogate him.
Yes.
Honorable Kuboy even wanted to come and assist because he realized I was creating something and I asked him to give place for you to do your work. We all heard what he said. You see, I am reluctant to say what I want to say. When it comes to healthcare delivery, you can be the richest person under the sun. You can be the most powerful person. You can be the president of the country. You don't know at which point you need the services of any healthcare practitioner. And you don't know which person will be readily available to support you at that point in time. Until and unless, Salom, you have come face to face with healthcare delivery in this country, sometimes you don't appreciate the things that people go through. You can sit back and make all the emotional argument. What my brother Okuboy did this morning that I'm happy with is to admit that even he as a medical doctor, there are times and occasions he goes to the hospital and facilities and he sees the way some of the persons conduct themselves that he's not happy with. But because he knows what to do, he's able to ask for the senior most person, he's able to call and question, and then that puts people on their toes. What you need to do from the health service and the nurses association and the rest is to rather engage more in public education. It is not for nothing that even Honorable Kobo here will admit that when his own wife is sick in the house, he will take the wife to the hospital for another doctor to attend to the person because the emotional attachment and all those things. If I bring my patient to the hospital and I see my patient wailing and crying and almost dying, the emotional attachment, I am not a doctor, I am not a nurse. You have been trained to do this work. And so you can come and observe the patient and based on your experience over the period, can conclude that even though he's screaming and shouting, the condition is not that dire as compared to one other person who is lying there quietly and not even talking. And so in your view, looking at your constraints, you may want to pay attention to that person before you come back to this person. The family member who is standing there with the emotion wouldn't know this. I shared an experience with you just last week. They called me that a cousin was knocked down by a motorbike in Akwatia Government Hospital. I rushed to the emergency ward. The patient was there, been there. They don't have the CT scan, we call it. They don't have MRI, anything. The blood was coming from the nose and the ears and everything. It was lying there. They were giving me a drip. And they said they were giving some medicine so that they can make their brain beat whatever it is. Now, to get a bed at Kolebu, the hospital said they call Kolebu, they said no bed. They called 37, there's no bed. They call UGM, there's no bed. I came in, they told me I have to also make my contact, make my calls here and there. Finally, we got a bed at a 37 hospital. Now, an ambulance to convey the patient from Akwatia to Accra was a problem. When you call the ambulance operator, they'll tell you, until unless you give them the doctor's number, and they call the hospital for the doctor to admit that they are ready to accept the patient, they are not moving. So now you have to get to 37, you get the doctor's number, you pass the number on to the ambulance people. When there was no ambulance when I went. The one they go from Kwando on this way coming, they go to Alavenue, it broke down. No, none in Peki, none in Ho. They got ambulance all the way from Kwetwe.
And the patient was in the...
The patient was in this state.
The patient was in the car in that state.
No, it was in the hospital.
Okay, coming to pick the person.
Yes. So the ambulance will move all the way from Kwetwe to Akwatia. You know the area. And you know the nature of the road. When they got there, I drove behind the patient. We got to Accra. By the time I got to 37 quite late, the doctors were available, the nurse, everybody. We did all the tests and the things that we need to do. Once after this, the emergency ward waiting, they brought someone. In fact, every minute, this motor bicycle victim, they brought them in. And I think there was a small misunderstanding between one nurse and one of their relatives. I moved in to try to talk to the nurse to just take it easy, calm down, blah, blah. I was like, he was also very angry. Me, I can tell him a bit of mine and go to my, I don't care after all, it's his own patient. You know, you see these things on daily basis. I am saying that you are professionals. You have been trained. You have the understanding. Anybody who is sick is mentally unstable. Anybody who is sick can behave in a very funny way. When your wife, your son, your doctor, your relatives are sick, your attitude to everything is different. You are professionals. You have been trained to have intentional emotional intelligence to be able to contain and tolerate and restrain yourself from reacting to everything that ordinary person who are just carried by emotions will do. So my call this morning is that the health ministry, the nurses association, all of you, we should do more of public education. That nurses are not happy to see anybody die. Doctors are not happy to see anybody die. They want to do their very best to save lives. But sometimes circumstances are very, very challenging. And the way we see things from our perspective as ordinary people is not the way they see it. And so when we come to hospital, I tell you, when finally we brought my cousin to 37, they did all the scans and everything. The doctor called me into his ward. Then he showed me the scan report and explained everything to me. That where the condition is now, they can't do operation. He has to be in the ward. They'll be administering medicine. So the God has to buy some medication. They'll be giving it to him until the hair starts healing itself properly. And that they'll keep updating us every day or every 2 days about the condition. He went further to say that if I come to the ward and the patient is lying there and they are not attending to him, it doesn't mean they are not doing anything. And that they know. So I have this understanding. So if you want to come to the ward now and see the person even wailing and doing whatever
it doesn't mean they are not working.
They are not working.
But how is the patient though?
Unfortunately, he passed on 2 days after.
Oh, that's so sad.
He couldn't survive. He passed on 2 days after. So I'm saying that you need to do more education. You need to carry the public along. Let us appreciate the work you do. Don't be sentimental, emotional about this.
Well.
If you go and see your father or your mother die in the hospital, and a colleague of you, is sitting down there, sometimes on his phone, visiting to a laptop, they are working, they are laughing. While your patient is dying, somebody's on photo, somebody is laughing and screaming. You tend to think that he doesn't care. And some of these emotional reactions may come in. I condemn it. It's unacceptable.
Well.
But put yourself also on the side of these people. Then you appreciate why sometimes some people can do some of the things that they do.
Well.
And so I beg, this issue, the least we can do is to commend the minister. Like my brother Okoboy said, he could have sat in his office. He was even proposing that I should have sent somebody to go there. Minister, maybe heed his call. Next time something is happening in your institution, sit down in your comfort of your office as a boss and call somebody to go and attend to the issue. We shouldn't do this to ourselves.
Very well. Now,
Minister
Tony
didn't go there to beat anybody.
Tony Goodman has joined us on the line to clarify a few of the issues you raised. Tony, good morning. Welcome to the program. Tony Goodman is Deputy Director at the Ministry and Head of Communications. He was a member of the committee, and he's joined us to clarify a few things. Tony, good morning once again. So can you confirm to us whether you spoke to the doctor in question, the doctor who saw and attended to the said nurse first, Dr. Jennifer Ya Obudai? Did the committee contact her? Did the committee speak to her?
Thank you. Let me say good morning to your distinguished panelists. And just to clarify, not to let the whole thing look as if I am speaking more than those in the studio. They are doing justice to the topic. I just want to clarify some misconceptions. Yes, we spoke to every professional, nurse, medical officer, consultant, specialist, head of department on that set day. We spoke to all of them, spoke to everybody, including the doctor who saw Rejoice. When we were doing our work, the day we were supposed to speak to the said doctor, he was seeing, she was seeing other people
No, it's a she.
in the emergency.
Is it the same person we are talking about, Dr. Jennifer Ya Obudai? It's a she.
I will not put out any names because of some cautions we've been given. So,
but can you confirm that this is the same person you spoke to?
let me confirm this, that we spoke to the doctor who saw the lady. The day we were doing that, we spoke to the two of them. We spoke to the doctor and Jennifer and Rejoice at the same time. What we're doing is that we ask the question, and then the doctor will say, the lady would not deny what the doctor will say. This is what we did. The committee moved into the ward, get the two of them to speak to. We spoke to the two of them at the same time because we wanted to clarify certain points, and we're able to do that. Disregard anybody who said we did not talk to them.
Yes,
That
I think
is not correct.
Yes, the problem is that the doctor's name, this doctor's name, is not in your report as one of the persons you spoke to. I think that is the problem.
It's not a full report. The comprehensive report has all the names. As the questions he asked is in that document. The answers they gave is in that document.
So is it an omission? Inadvertent omission, or is it deliberate that the name was omitted in this report?
Actually, we didn't want to put out any name. We didn't want to do that.
But you eventually did. Some names are here, so.
No, some of them, you seek permission from some of them, and then. So the details I won't go into it. But I'm saying that we spoke to the doctor, we spoke to the nurse in question on the same day. They did not come to us in the Rich Hospital conference room. We went to them and spoke to them.
Very well. So thanks for clarifying that. The other point is, why are nurses working for 8 months, including rotation nurses, and they've not been paid? Of course, it may be a problem from the past, but why should it be so? Why should we continue it like that? People working for 8 months not paid, they cannot be happy doing their work, can they?
No. I sympathize with my dear nurses who have not received their salary. The minister has given the breakdown as to what happened. You know, their financial clearance was given for about 13,200. Some were put on the payroll. They are currently receiving their salary. The other who was put on the payroll, controller stopped years because, their financial clearance got expired 31st December before they were processed. But we made a case for them, and then the 7,000 above, they were paid. We are currently working with controller to clear the rest who have not been paid. These are financial clearance that were given around August, September last year. They started the process around November. So, in actually doing this, the ICPD system is such that you won't be able to capture all of them. Because the person must posting, go to the various destinations, documentations are sent before the process. So I'm sure in that process, they were caught up in the gap. We are working on that. The minister is currently liaising with the Minister for Finance, and they are actually dealing with that. I sympathize with them.
Yes, but Tony, did I hear you say that their financial clearance expired in December, on December 31st? Is that correct?
That's correct. The financial clearance, actually, they give you a deadline. So you have to work within that deadline. If you are not able to finalize your work, it means that you have to go for extension. That has also been done. But because during that period, we quickly put them on the payroll before they were stopped by control.
So when did this supposed start working? 8 months means, when did they start working?
Yeah, they started working in January because they were posted. You remember the issue of those who were posted later last year, because we thought that these are persons that were posted after the transition period. So some were had to stay. But for us in the Ministry of Health, we're giving clear directive to make sure that we capture all of them on the table. And we
So these were people who, I know the Chief of Staff gave some directive that all persons employed at a certain time be made to go home. But I think special concession was made for, I think, nurses and teachers also. So these people fall within that category. Is that the point you are making?
Yes. Yes. Category, which means that they were given some concession for us to continue their process and make sure that they receive their salary. Yes.
I see. Thanks so much. So what's the way forward, all of this happening? What was the way forward? The minister, and shouldn't the ministry be interested in the criminal aspect of this whole assault situation at the ministry? Because, the consensus is that it affects staff morale. And so why can't the minister ensure that the said gentleman, Ralph, who is granting interviews all over the place, is at least invited by the police and questioned? We understand one of his people was arrested. I don't know what's happening to him. But he himself, who is the key architect of all of this, is freely walking about. That should be concerning, should it not? Should it not?
Salam, you see, for us in the Ministry of Health, what we did was that we were not happy with what happened. So we quickly condemned the attack. We are not happy that a group of persons can go to our facility and attack the nurse and all that. So when you look at the terms of reference, it was part of it to look at the attack, for us to look at that aspect of it. So during our work, we went into it, where CCTV footage came, reports from the links on the hospital records and other footages revealed that that did not happen. Her colleague on duty that day did not corroborate what she said. They said they didn't see that. So we came to this conclusion. I heard my friend Jeff was giving some analysis, giving some police report. I don't want to go into that. He has just one document and we're speaking to. We had opportunity to analyze a host of information that was presented to us, including the people who were posted on that day. We had a police report, the CCTV footage. If you take one document and you throw out in the media and start talking, you may be right or wrong, but we had a privilege to dissect, to look at various documents that came to us, and we came to the realization. We did not go into this work to let people look bad. We actually wanted to put in place a system that is robust going forward. That is why we went into it. And the Ministry of Health is in charge of health care delivery in this country. So if the committee is going to work, it is the Ministry of Health who is supposed to put in place his best staff to do this work. The chairman of this committee is supposed to say that this work, because at the end of the day, institutional care and what happened, versus how they work around the logistics that is provided, it's this job. But we made sure that we didn't show ourselves anything. Let's put everything out and let's give the minister everything. So that going forward, we can strengthen the Ridge Hospital and other hospitals across the country. So I want to say, my brother Honorable Advertisement said something, that we should look at the issue and not the other ones that are not important. What has happened has happened. Let's look into the future and strengthen our system. That is what we are going to. We are going to implement the recommendation very well. The criminal aspect, we are interested in the criminal aspect.
But I think the criminal aspect should be pursued. All right, because you never know. You may find yourself at Ridge Hospital tomorrow, and I mean, yes. So thanks so much, and we hope that the criminal aspect is pursued and the right things are done. Are you meeting the nurses anytime soon to assure them? They were also not happy that their representative was not on the committee.
As what? The lady is a member of the GRNMA. They should tell you their constitution, which aspect made the rotation as a member. Don't mind my brother Jeff. They just want to. They are looking for fight that is not their fight, and then throwing blows in the air. Jeff, take care.
All right, Tony, thanks so much. Thank you so much for your intervention. Tony Goodman is the Deputy Director at the Ministry and a member of the committee, Head of Communication at the Ministry as well. Nana Akwatia, Doctor, Public Safety Analyst and Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety is on. Nana, good morning. Thanks for joining the program. The issue about safety in the hospital, security, etc., has come up. I mean, are you impressed with the findings made by the committee in respect of this and your general views as well on the happenings?
Well, thank you very much, Salom, and good morning to your panelists in the studio. Good morning to your viewers as well. I think, for starters, I would also tie into what Honorable Member of Parliament, Fred Agbenyon, mentioned, that no one has the right to enter an institution and abuse anybody, to assault anyone. No one has the right. And to that extent, if it has been established that something of this nature has gone on at the Ridge Hospital, it is important that this is dealt with as per law dictates. It is something that we must do to create a sense of deterrence among the public so that it will not recur in the future. That said, I think last week or 2 weeks ago when I was on your show, I did mention that it is important that directors of these facilities are held accountable for such breaches that threaten both patient and staff safety. And so moving forward on that score, I would like to see medical directors or facility managers, put in place an effective security system, preferably one that is in layers, to ensure that such breaches do not recur. It's not a new phenomenon. It's something that has occurred several times within our jurisdiction. And so we should take it seriously. That said, the investigation report, that came out, I think, 2 days ago, was interesting. I was not surprised of the outcome of the report. I am rather taken aback by the pushback from the fraternity, the Ghana registered nurses and other, persons within, the Ridge Hospital. Why? Because this is not new. As a country, we all know the state of our health system. We know the character of our health system. And for once, I want to personify the health system. We know its character. Yes, there are challenges, but we all know how things play out when one goes to the hospital. So when such things happen and suddenly we all want to, pretend that everything is okay within our health system, it's quite disturbing. One, with this particular report, we still do not have any video evidence of assault. This thing has been 2 weeks now. We've been talking about allegations of assault. No one has produced a single video of an assault. That is one. Number two, the doctor who examined the lady at the center of the issue, we do not know whether she determined a dislocation by physical examination or by an objective method by sodomy. I'm not a doctor, so I'm just the little knowledge that I have. So Dr. Kuboy can help. Just for clarity, my doctor is not a syringe doctor. So just for clarity, because I'm sure Dr. Kuboy will be cringing at some of the things I'll be saying.
Now, why is the medical doctor saying so? No, you are a PhD.
Yeah. Yes. So we need to establish how did this doctor determine a dislocation? Did she go by a more subjective method by physical examination? And if she did by physical examination, then I can understand why the committee conclusion is causing so much chaos. But if she went about this by an objective method, such as a CT or MRI scan or an X-ray, then we need to see the X-ray or the CT scan that was taken, at the time when the lady reported for care. If in the absence of that, then it's going to be the word of, the patient and her doctor against the word of the investigative committee. And that one, we could split our heads and there will be no common grounds.
Yeah, but I'm not sure the doctor said the lady suffered dislocation. I don't see that in her report. Unless, of course, I don't understand the technical things here. But the doctor didn't say she had a dislocated. So I'm wondering what that came from, actually. Perhaps it came from the lady?
Well, but even before the medical director, when the lady was being interviewed on TV, before the cameras, she was talking about some of the things that happened to her.
So she said she had dislocated?
So she was like, she was hit in the chest, went through a lot of things, and even her shoulder. And when he said her shoulder, she suffered the shoulder, and then someone in the background said dislocation. And her behavior was like, she sort of accepted the term. As to whether really it happened or it was the use of the term, the doctor didn't say anything about that. I'm talking about the one who saw her. Yeah. Yes, but I was just explaining to Fred that if a dislocation happens, I've fixed a couple of them. It's just the head of your humerus going out of the socket, like the hand coming out. The one who knows how to do it, you just apply pressure and it goes back. Once it's put back, nothing can show that it happened. You get it? And so I think my issue is that you don't need to have a dislocation to show that you've been assaulted or battered.
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah. That's clear. I mean, that's clear. But the other issue that has come up is the thing happened on the 17th in the hospital. Yeah. The lady went home and came back the following day to be admitted.
No. In fact, he was at the hospital.
The thing happened in the hospital.
Yeah, she was at the hospital.
But she went home and came back. No. So the doctor's report actually was not for that day. It was the next day.
No, she didn't go home. She was at the hospital.
She was at the hospital, but she was not attended to.
Yes, so they were attended to her
the following day.
The following morning.
Under such circumstances.
Yes.
That's even part of the problem, because one of your people, not a staff, but one of the people working the rotation nurse, everybody saw what happened, if what they say is correct. Pounced on, from what her court documents are saying. Yeah. She was pounced on by hoodlums and beaten to pulp. That's what the court documents say. That's what she told. That's what the court. I'll quote it for you. That's what the court document is saying. That's what her report to the. That's what she's taking to court. So the plaintiff was busily engrossed in the provision of care for patients, and while she was diligently attending to patients, the defendant and his followers accosted her. The defendant, without provocation, struck the patient's left hand with a clenched fist and a metallic cell phone. The attack took the plaintiff by surprise, as it was entirely unwarranted and without provocation. Paragraph 16. The defendant and his followers, who were well-built men, escalated the attack and pounced on the plaintiff and brutally beat her to pulp from behind and all over her body. As a result, the plaintiff sustained injuries to her right shoulder, left lower arm, back waist, and other parts of her body. She also currently has severe headaches, chest pains, and body pains following the attack. The plaintiff now suffers frequent panic attacks and nightmares as a result of the brutal attack. This is what she's taking to court.
Although, I think we would also not be too fair to the facts if we assume that because of some of these, in terms of the reporting, the timing, because of this, I will not say either inconsistency or it doesn't flow that well in terms of when she was seen under that. For us to use that to assume that no tax came to the facility would also be unfair.
No, there were people in the facility. Whether we call them tax or not, there were people in the facility.
Yeah,
so I hear the gentleman was a bike rider who got an accident. So his colleagues came.
I'm just saying that so that because sometimes where you put emphasis can indirectly, not without intention, unintentionally, withhold or erase some other facts. But in the hospital, I'm trying to put myself in an emergency. If one of our staff gets attacked by some outsiders and the doctor on duty or some doctors on duty are busy on orders, what sometimes happens is that there are some medications that senior nurses are able to give to, to mitigate the situation, whilst the doctor will come and write all our copious notes. Pain injection, like a Diclo injection like this, you don't need a consultant to give a painkiller. Sometimes what happens is that when a matter attracts attention and then it is realized that it might end up in court, even junior doctors who see a case are allowed not to be the one to end up in the folders, but to let a senior person, because as for me, I've stood before judges to comment on medical cases, but not everybody. So I'm also trying to make us to be careful, not to create the impression that maybe on the day that the thing happened, between that time to the next day, she was never given any intervention or something. So, some of these things are not too clear, and it's also, it might be possible that it's because we don't have the full report, like the Mr. Goodman mentioned. But forgive me, Salom, quickly, I think we must be interested in the lessons going forward.
Before that, the fact that she was admitted the following day, not the same day, is an issue. Well, if you go through what she has described, you don't go home and come back the following day.
Oh, no, look, see, Sarah,
the lady said she was better than the police report.
This is not a police report. This is a statement of claim.
The statement of claim.
To court.
She was beaten to pulp by well-built men.
Because they said she reported her injuries on the left hand on the next day, 18th August 2025, and was further treated.
So, I'm not trying to, if there appears to be an inconsistency.
The inconsistency is important.
Yes, I'm not trying to explain it away, but I'm just trying to, based on my experience in the world.
So you're not going to the specific issue now, you're just giving me a general.
Yes, so that you might, so that you would in fear. Sometimes that's what we do. Why maybe possibly such a thing happens. So you can have a situation where two people fight. One is beaten to pulp, goes home in pains, and is in the house till the next day, and talks to people and they go like, look, you have to take this to police. But police will not handle this case without a medical report. I've seen a lot of people come to the hospital a day or even two after. Sometimes if you are lucky and you can pick some.
But these are untrained men.
No, I understand.
But this one,
of course,
ought to have known better.
But I'm just trying to tell you some of the things
and
that happen.
The context should even make her know better.
And that's why I said there are certain medications, it's not a doctor that gives certain interventions.
That's me.
Exactly. So it is possible that she was given some painkillers.
But the lady didn't go home.
So the report
because
is not correct.
in the morning, I was there. The lady didn't go home from that. I was there the whole of the Monday. I was there the whole of the Tuesday. And I've confirmed that.
But this is a report.
The doctor attended
This is a report.
the following day.
Nobody has said that.
This is a report. So that's fine. The doctor signed the following day. And then the report is also saying that she reported her injuries.
No, the fact that what is reported doesn't mean he went.
If the nurse didn't go home, but the capturing of the event was done the following day, someone might interpret it as she came for care the next day.
No, that's not the case.
But I think
so. So these are inconsistencies.
Let's wait for the full report.
We need to clarify.
Let me just.
Yes, but I want to deal with him on a few things, right? The thing about in a few seconds we need to make progress.
Yeah.
The clearance. Why should medical, and it's not the first time, why should doctors and even teachers work for a lot of months? When you are giving clearance, I should expect that I work 1 month, the month ends, you pay me. Why do you keep people working for several months?
Quickly, the time I was trying to assist him, I think the point, some might think that he's trying to say that, okay, because they are not paid, then they had a reason to even not to act.
Yeah.
But
that's not what I mean.
I think the point is to let the public know that there are some people you meet at the hospital, despite their presence at work, their allowance or whatever is. So it's like a form of sacrifice. They are doing their best despite those difficulties. That's the point. Just to appreciate the person's condition. Now, I had to wait for about 12-13 months before I received my first
salary. So why is this so?
Yeah.
And you faced it as a young doctor.
We tried to.
You became a minister.
Yes.
And it's still the same.
I think even we tried to cut it down. Like I said, I finished somewhere 2008-9. And even at that time, I had to wait 12-13 months. It's come down to about 7-8 months and all that. The ideal thing is to push it to 90 days. That's what we're trying to work towards. But guess what? When you receive a list, let's say this year, 10,000 nurses have been onboarded. They have to go through, that's some of the lessons that, or things that we're told. They have to go through a meticulous process to make sure that there's no ghost in that 10,000. And this process includes physical validation. After the physical validation, apparently you have to give the list to finance. Finance works with controller and accountant. Controller must now put it on their system. Sometimes the allocation made in that year for salaries, by the time they will finish onboarding, you have a situation where even the financial year has passed. They have to now make an allocation to pay not only your salary for a particular month, but also the arrears. So we've had some reasons. The truth is that over the years, we've reduced the waiting period. But I also want to admit that, first of all, it is not Minister Akando's fault that we have these 8 months. But most importantly, we can still push it further to about 3 months or so. We cannot live in a country where if you finish, you start working, it takes about a year before you see your salary.
I know Dr. Akwatia couldn't finish his point, but I will come back to him to conclude his point. But the other point about the committee made, which we all know, the malfunctioning facilities.
Yes.
Rich hospital, emergency, CT scan not working, MRI is not working, even X-ray machines not working, none of the diagnostic imaging equipment working in an emergency. Yeah. I mean, what's the problem? What's the cause? Why can't you fix this forever?
These things can be fixed. There are a few things that we have to work on. Forgive me for saying this, but sometimes, unfortunately, even in our hospitals, appointing heads sometimes is not only based on track record or capacity. Sometimes it is based on people's relationships and all that. So
the people are not competent.
I'm choosing my words well. That's why I'm saying that even at the hospital sometimes.
Yeah, but you see, it's a general situation that cuts across, so it cannot be that.
No, it's just one. The other thing too is that the charges that we take at public hospitals, they are social charges determined by the people's reps. When you agreements are not even signed in terms of maintenance regime, it's not proper. Agreements are not even signed in terms of maintenance regime, it's not proper. Kolebu, for example, before I became board chair at Kolebu, most of the time, MRI doesn't work, CT was not working. We had meetings, and then what we decided to do was that, okay, we are going to have a private person collaborate with the hospital to have their machines in the hospital, so that if ours doesn't work, you don't need to drive to East Legon in the same Kolebu, a private person. But this time, this private person, when he takes care of you, some of the revenue is coming to the facility. That helped to sort of, slow down, I'll not say sabotage and all that. And then Salam, the one which is also very important is the point you made. Sometimes those who are supposed to manage some of these facilities or instruments, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, also have businesses which are operate similar things. And the way we need reforms in the going forward. Reforms elsewhere in certain countries, when you are a health worker, the number of hours that you must necessarily work in your hospital is stated. Yes. So that it's not enough to come 1-2 hours, see a few patients and go. Secondly, in other jurisdictions, they even sign, if you work with government, you can work only a certain number of hours in a private setting outside the government facility, so that you don't rededicate your energies. Yes, absolutely. So work. I think it's an amalgam of factors, and my concluding statement is that we can fix these issues. Sure. What I don't want to hear is the impression that we are helpless. We can. And by the way, most hospital directors or bosses keep their position not based on their performance or output. If we move to a regime where certain indicators is what determines whether you still be the boss of a unit, a department, things will start changing. So one sad thing I've realized in this country, people can still receive promotion based on the number of years sometimes they've worked, and not necessarily what happened when they were working. All these are things that we have to look at, and we'll do better in our facilities.
I see. Yes, let me come to you briefly. No, sorry, Dr. Akwatia was making a point. We couldn't finish. Doc, just conclude your point for me, please.
Yeah, Salom, thank you. I think you took the wind out of my sail, and one of the points I was going to come to is just what Dr. Kuboy finished with. The part about managing, the work times of healthcare practitioners, both doctors and nurses across board. I think as a country, we should be able to do that. And that would tie into a next point. But to the extent that the public, the professional associations, and even us in the panel still are raising questions, and there are areas we do not know. I agree we don't have the full report. Suggests to me that as a country, we need to move forward, on the back of this incident. One, if you go to countries like the US, the UK, the ones that we, look up to, with this experiment that we are having, they have bodies that are independent of both their health ministries and their health services, right? So we need bodies that are independent of that. We can fall on SHRA, Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, for this, some of these issues. But if we think that the health sector is a specialized area that require people with in-depth understanding of both the challenges and the workings in the health sector, in the US, they have the Joint Commission. In the UK, they have the Care Quality Commission. We could have, a semblance of these bodies in our country to, fashion out issues of this that occur in the health sector. These bodies have the powers to investigate abuse, failures in patient care and safety incidents at the health facilities. If we think that is going to be, a matter of budgetary concerns, we can't even have ombudsman offices where individuals with concerns, both either the staff or the patients with concerns, could approach for redress. These are things that we can do to advance, development within our healthcare system. Moving forward, I think that we should also mandate it, and this can be done by the Ministry of Health. Let us mandate, reporting by, all government health facilities, annual reporting of sentinel events. So at the end of the year or at a particular time in the year, all public facilities will be reporting sentinel events such as assaults, unexpected deaths, major care failures, so that we can use these data and these reports as a basis to improve on health delivery within our healthcare system. I think that we cannot continue to run the system the way we've done it in the last 60 some years and expect that we are going to see a major improvement. So what the Bureau of Public Safety is advocating for is to have an ombudsman office or an establishment where people with concerns can, approach if we cannot approach the SHRAG. And then 2, we must mandate, reporting for sentinel events for all public health facilities so that by so doing, we can all know what we are going for when we choose a particular health department. And I believe that that is also going to be a motivation and a driver for managers of healthcare facilities to improve on their services.
Very well. Thanks so much, Dr. Akwatia. Yes, your concluding remarks.
We have a lot of work to do in our health sector as a nation, i.e. retooling the health sector so that we can get better health care for all the people of this country. The training that we give to our healthcare personnel, we need to do something more about it. There's something that is critical in this country, the subject of patriotism and nationalism. I think that gradually it is, either it is fizzled out completely or nobody seems to care about it. President Kufuor made a statement years back that governments pretend to be paying Ghanaians and Ghanaians also pretend to be working. Dr. Okubwe, by the grace of God, had an opportunity of being a board chairman of Kolebu before. Then he was also a CEO of Kolebu. Then health. Just board chair. Then became the Minister of Health. You see, sometimes it's difficult to say these things as they are, lest you are accused and people start calling your names. Almost every government hospital you go to today, even though they have labs to test for basic issues, almost every government hospital you go to today, even though they have, or this doctor will come at 1, this one will come at 3, they will come and treat you there, come and do everything there. We know that things are happening across the country.
So we must fix it. We know the problem.
The machine, small machine gadget is sport. I agree when he said that time financing is the cost. But sometimes when you look at it closely, it's as if let us allow it to be the way it is, so people can go and do it outside for additional. I don't know. So really, when we conclude or agree that we need to even decide how we allow people to keep their positions or how we promote people, it's something we need to look at. It must not just be because you have worked at that place for 10 years, so you must become the boss at all costs.
Or there are other interests.
So really,
great.
It's funny.
Yeah, Jefferson, your final.
I think you're going to allow me to say something before you allow me. You see, those days, when you come from nursing college and teacher training college, and you're allowed to go and teach. Those days, the results don't come early. Those days, it was automatic posting.
Yes.
Once you finish college,
now there are many. So
now you are many now. They say national service and all these things just to delay the people. When you start teaching, or you go, the allowance that you will receive whilst at college, you will continue to be on that allowance
until your salary
you pass your exams.
Okay.
When your result comes and you have passed your exams, then now they move you onto a salary scale. You have to go to the IPPD forms, complete and do. So automatically, there is no way they can engage you today. By the end of the month, you get your salary. Per the way the system is. And that's why Dr. Kobo is saying that when the numbers come out in that life, but these two institutions, health and teaching, always ghost names. Always the ghost never die.
It could be better.
Okay. So it can be better. But sometimes when we create the impression, when we are communicating as though it's a case that government is refusing to pay, when we know too well that this has been the protocol, though a very bad one. But that's what the case has always been. But the way my brother put it, I said, oh, these people have worked for 8 years and nobody is paying them. No, it is not like that.
So Jefferson, I mean, no, Jefferson. So Jefferson. We have actually seen that the matter, contrary to what we were thinking, that the criminal aspect is not being pursued. It has been pursued. It's being pursued. Indeed, they were in court, and the gentleman, one of the guy arrested, Lord Niyama, has been granted bail. He's on bail. Tune of 50,000, one surety, justify, etc. So he's on bail. Matter to be recalled. The agenda date is 23rd September 2025 for CMC. So that's it. The matter is progressing and it's in court. And incidentally, I know the two lawyers. I know the lawyer for the accused, and I know the lawyer for the lady, which should be the state, but there's a lawyer watching brief. That's how we call it, because the state that is prosecuting. So the lawyer is watching brief. I see that, and I see the court processes. So the matter is in court. Yeah. All right. So I mean the other point. So then we are fighting for nurses. Yeah. Can nurses also assure us in 1 minute that they will also improve their customer service so that we will all be fine? Just 1 minute so that we move on.
Thank you very much. But I'm also happy with the case. I was very happy the defendant's lawyer, the case he raised, saying that the main accused person, which is Raf, is on the run. Yeah. Police is not even interested in arresting him. So therefore, I'm also interested. Yes. You could have added that.
So you know about that.
Oh,
you know that the case is in court.
I'm following it.
No, but I'm surprised because
I'm following it.
So the defendant's lawyer indeed, he said that the gentleman was on TV and radio all over the place.
And he couldn't be.
And they didn't oppose the bail application.
Exactly. So,
but you should have mentioned that because I'm just getting this information. But you have
not brought that. You are leading the conversation. You have not brought that conversation.
I didn't bring up.
Anyway. Oh no.
So just assure us. Don't go to blame. Just assure us.
For nurses and midwives in the country, you know that we have held the health system for all these while. It is not new that I am bringing a new assurance. We are doing the work. We have already been doing what we are doing. There are challenges.
There are some of your people. They'll be doing TikTok. They'll be doing this.
There are challenges. I have been on a board where people's licenses were revoked.
There's this other issue. We need to make progress, right? We understand that there are CPDs they do. Yes. They renew their PINs, PINs every year, and it counts with CPD, professional evaluation, etc. Have we had instances where people's PINs or PINs have not been renewed as a punishment because they've not been nice to, or they
no. You can't say you renew it. You can only revoke it.
Okay,
revoke. So there has been some.
But we hardly see those.
Oh, if you can have your people visit,
and it's not made public.
Nurses and midwife council, they will give you a lot of data. They revoke them.
Progress.
But what I'm saying is, for us, we are committed. I must say that currently the morale is very down. But I assure every nurse that everybody now we could see that people are condemning the act. Honorable here have condemned the act that nobody has any right to visit a facility and beat them. We are not the cause of the delay or the cause of the malfunctions of the equipment there. So thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. My dear nurses and midwives, please let us do our best. Let's put on our professional caps. And like you have been doing always, let's be on guard. And I think Ghana will be a better place. But for the salaries.
And the bad ones, you must stop.
Definitely. There will always be.
Whilst you are attending to patients.
But right now, the links is on the phones.
Please.
The links are on the phones.
It can be. But sometimes it's not the links or whatever they are watching. We know that.
No.
So very well. Let me take a few messages.
I'm not saying that
my
people
good
are
friend
not
says that every OPD and emergency should have a customer relations rep who engages their clients and relatives. Nurses cannot be doing all this. Institutions should have this in place. That's a good point from Kobe Blay. He has some nice words for Okoboy as well. Okoboy, everybody has nice words for him. That's fine. So good morning, Salom. This one from Jose Adobo says, the committee reports couldn't be far from the truth. The bandages seem to be more artificial because I wonder how, with all this thickness of bandage, she's able to throw her hands and twist her body to still narrate her soul. Okay, all right. And then this one from Yao says, everyone condemns the act of Raf taking videos. What again do you want? Today you are a nurse, but tomorrow you may be a patient. Therefore, you should be an advocate for patients somehow, as you were taught in school. Okay, it says, okay. Then this one says, the lady said there was dislocation, which turned out not to be the case. We all watched the lady on TV. If GRNMA thinks they have a case at this point, even at the end of the committee's work, they should go to court and leave us alone. All right. Okay, so I take a short break. Thanks so much, Jefferson. Always on hand. We'll call you, you come, you deliver. Your people should be happy. Your people should be happy with you. We'll take a short break. When we return, we will do some real politics. Don't go away.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
In Ghana, West Africa, the mornings are somewhat, if not for the perfect companion. What a good day to start. Another day. It's always smiles knowing we are together. Ooh, what a feeling. Work is always effective with NASCO home appliances. If it not be you, then who go there? Classic home appliance for the fisher folks. And Nijepa, I want NASCO fie. NASCO, bring home happiness.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Looking for a one-stop shopping destination for all things made in Ghana? Eager to experience a remarkable fair that showcases the richness, creativity, and innovation behind Ghanaian products and services? Then get ready for the This is Ghana Exhibition 2025. The This is Ghana Exhibition highlights the brilliance of Ghanaian entrepreneurs, artisans, and businesses who continue to shape the narrative of homegrown excellence. This is Ghana's biggest trade fair and exhibition, bringing together SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing sectors, indigenous corporate bodies, and local creatives in one exciting space. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2025. Come explore, engage, and be inspired by the businesses and brands that are redefining made in Ghana across every sector. Get ready to be thrilled by live performances from Kwampa and the electrifying Inchin Band, adding music, rhythm, and culture to the celebration. The dates: Saturday the 6th and Sunday the 7th of September 2025. Time is 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. The venue is the A4 Sutherland Children's Park. For enquiries or participation details, call us on 0205 973 973. The This is Ghana Exhibition 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM and is proudly sponsored by MTN, Ecobank, Side Hustle by EK Brand Consult, Ghana Enterprises Agency, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Ghana Exim Bank, and AVV Rice, and is supported by Twillium Industrial Company Limited and Built Financial Technology.
Hi, welcome back. This is The Big Issue. Some conversation just going on in the studio. This is The Big Issue, 97.3 City FM. Just gone by the discussion on the Ridge Hospital assault matter and all of that. And of course, we've established that the criminal part of it is in court, and the gentleman, Lord, is on bail. Lord Nina, who we understand was arrested as an accomplice of Raf. But Raf, we still cannot find, according to the police, even though we know he's been granting interviews and doing all sorts of things. So we hope that they arrest him too and do the right thing. All right, so now let's move to Akwatia. The two political parties, main political parties, the NDC and MPP, are lacing their boots for Akwatia, which happens on Tuesday, the 2nd of September. And both parties have been there. On Friday, there was a vigil for the deceased member of parliament, Ernest Kumi. We understand the former president was there, 2024 flag bearer, and Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia was there. Former Vice President Bawumia was there. Kennedy Japan, Brian Champon, almost all the persons gunning to lead the MPP were there. General Secretary and all of those people who matter in the party were there to sympathize with the people of Akwatia and also make a case for an election of an MPP person to replace another MPP person. The context, however, should be clarified that the seat was an MPP seat after the 2024 election, but it was without contest. The NDC was contesting the outcome of the election. It was in court. They were going to court a number of times. And indeed, if you remember, on the night of the inauguration of Parliament, Ernest Kumi, there was an injunction placed on him, but he defied that and got himself sworn in. So there was some contempt matter he was dealing with in the court, traveled all the way to the Supreme Court. And so his death truncated or ended the matter. The lawyer in the case is now the candidate, and the two of them have been fighting tooth and nail. Yesterday, at an event where the NDC was invited to the funeral or the vigil, we understand there were some issues and some bad scenes. Some of the people there did not want the NDC candidate to be at the vigil, which was condemned. And the NDC is asking the police to also deal with that matter. But yes, let me start off with Fred. Fred, you have an overwhelming majority in Parliament. Why are you fighting this Akwatia election as if you need that number for anything really? The stakes appear too high for what is happening in Parliament.
Well, I don't know if I should address this issue from the angle from which we are coming from, but to look at it from a very general perspective and what my view is about these by-elections. I agree that the framework of our constitution were very clear in our minds why they make provision for by-elections on an event that a sitting member of parliament is incapacitated or passed on, whatever, somebody must come and replace him. I've heard people have made the argument that can we go back to the drawing board and allow the situation where the party from which the person is coming from elect somebody to replace him. Like we are likely to have in the Tamale South elections.
Tamale Central.
Tamale Central elections with the passing on of my brother Muntala Mohammed now. MPP has withdrawn from the race. And so once NDC elects a candidate, that kind of automatically becomes the MP. Now, the reason why political parties will pay particular attention to by-elections is that they use that as an avenue, one, to test their popularity, as to if they have lost favor of the people or the people appreciate the work they are doing. And so they use that as a test. Two, political parties also use by-elections to test their methodologies, even as they prepare for general elections. You know, their ability, for instance, to collate election results on time. You know, the deployment of party agents. How are we able to do it on time? And how do we put our own security, internal security arrangements in place? All these things, you use by-elections to test it. Even your messaging, because this is smaller, everybody is available. And then you see how you used to create a template that most likely you want to use in a general election situation. And so by-elections by themselves are not bad. Now, another thing is that on the event that we have a closed parliament like we had in the last one, the 8th parliament, where the difference was just about one person, or that MPP has 137 and they say 137 at a certain time, a by-election can make all the difference as we become the majority side of the house. This particular case, it is obvious that the outcome of these elections will not bring any difference to Parliament at all. we have the absolute two-third majority as of now. And so whether we win Akwatia or not, it is not going to, it's not going to make any difference at all. Can I proceed? Can I proceed? You understand? And so, Akwatia, you also want to, show your popularity within a region and within a constituency. You want to take hold of that particular area. If you check the history of Akwatia very well, NDC has won that seat, a few times. In recent time, my brother, Honorable Baba Jaman was the MP. Now, before Kumi came in, the MP that was there, Okoyo, is also an NDC person. So we have won that seat at least 2-3 times, if my memory serves me right. In the 1992 election, NPP participated at all.
1996.
Yeah, 96, that NPP. 96, we won again.
Yeah.
And so it's a seat that, if we do our things well, can become our permanent seat in the eastern region. And so that's when a seat you want to let go. It's for now, you can say that it's a, what's the word? It's a swing seat. And to test your popularity and how far the people accept you as a political party, you can best do that in a swing area. If there's an election, for instance, maybe my constituency today, and NDC win the seat today, it doesn't mean anything. But in an area like that, it's quite competitive because anybody at all could win the seat. And that is why we are in there like that. So far, the report we have picked, the work that our people on the ground are doing, and the candidate that we elected, Bernard. Incidentally, Bernard was my friend. We were mates at Legon. At a point, we were even in the same room. And so I've known Bernard this many years. His senior brother is a pastor now. We were there with his senior brother as well. And so, what else can I say than to wish him the very best? From the report I've picked so far, speaking to my colleagues on the ground, I'm sure by Tuesday, when the polls are closed and counting is done, Bernard will emerge as the MP elect for that particular constituency to come and add up to our numbers, and let's see how we can push the agenda of the resetting of Ghana and then the development of the area. Now, I'm worried. There was a report that came out, I think, a week earlier from the police about some guns that were intercepted or were seized from some people and all that, during some snap checks that they were doing and all that. Now, what we are not too sure of is if these guns were brought in because of the by-election or there were weapons that were in the hands of these illegal small-scale miners and what have you. I think that the police was not very clear on that particular issue. Because the
police has not updated us on what
the investigations are. What the investigations are and where we are now.
Because the two gentlemen they arrested said it was it's for their boss. And we don't know what the police has done to the boss, whether the police have interrogated the boss and what the results.
And what is it they are going to use the ammunition for. Now, another thing that is critical, there are a lot of people that are holding registered weapons in our country. I think that the police will need to do some more public education. Assuming I have a registered weapon now, and I'm going to Akwatia, and that registered weapon is in my car, and the police stop me midway, and they check my car, and they see the weapon. Would they confiscate that weapon even after I've shown them the license, the legal document that allows me to hold the gun? Would they confiscate the gun? Would that become a public issue? That, for example, Agbonyo was arrested with a gun when the same police has given me the permit to hold a gun. I
that's
think
an
that
issue.
we need some clarity.
But in this case under reference, they said that it was for their boss, and I'm not sure they showed any documents.
So the police need to update the public as to what exactly is happening. That just to conclude on this issue, go back and check. Almost all the by-elections we have had in the Fourth Republic from 1996 up until now, the story hasn't been good. They've almost all have been characterized by violence and all these type of things that we have here. The only thing that is keeping Ghana going to despite the international community is the image we have created for ourselves that we believe in multi-party democracy and that we can go to elections and come out peacefully. Anything that will tarnish that image and reputation internationally, we need to guard against it. And you know the way the international media in particular operates. All the things that we did in 2028, we came out 2024 elections, we have come out successfully. That will not become a major news item. That, we went to a by-election, Ablekuma North, and then somebody jumped in Chuck Norris, how do you call those movies? You wore those movies. And Chuck Norris fashion. And that becomes, the news, you open CNN, you open whatever it is. It's not good for us. And so I want to call on all of us to be very, very measured in the things we do. And to conclude by saying that those of us who are in leadership of political parties, we must take responsibility for the things that are happening. It is we who instigate and incite our people to do some of these things that they do. And yet when we are finished, we come back and we pretend we don't know anything about it. It's not good for our image. I said that Bullet has no respect for anybody. I don't think my brother and but you don't know the relationship that we have beyond maybe on set here or NDC, MPP. You don't know what the relationship that we have. You understand? So we are not enemies. We are friends. Very well. And all that. So I beg, let us bring down the temperature. As it is said, the election is determined already. Sorry, MPP has lost.
Election is determined. Okay, I see.
From the report we have read, if it is
no, but if you listen to the MPP, Oku people as well, I mean, they are very confident.
But nobody goes to battle and say he has lost. Even if they come to contest, but even my cousin were going they said they have gone already. So
people say that, of course, it's a seat you won in 2014, even though it was not without dispute, But winning it again, 2024, yes, winning it again will not make any difference for you in Parliament. So why are we making it a high-stake election like this? And it does appear, from what people say, that you are using the death of the gentleman as sympathy to get more votes. So you're doing a lot of vigils, using dirges on the ground, etc., just to whip up, sympathetic votes, etc., or sympathy votes. Why are we making it such a high-stake election?
My sister, the current Greater Accra Regional Minister, Akwatia, you know how she came to Parliament? Ask for it.
The true by-election.
The husband
died. And then
so you have all these answers already. So as for because I want you to know that on the other side too, there are some factors that come up when the by-elections are as a result of deaths and all that. These things do happen. So, I think the NEC made a lot of meat or case out of this two-thirds thing and created the impression that something big was about to happen with the two-thirds. So come on, majority is not enough. Let's push hard. And even some thought that they could change the constitution and some entrenched amendments.
You will see very soon.
So far, the two-thirds is been on paper. By the way, I think
to do things.
But the two tests have not been very useful so far. That's a fair point to me.
I think you'll be on my side.
People don't come. People don't go. Minority with their small numbers will raise issues about quorum. And some guys are nowhere to
see, we will get there.
So, I think that going into the election 2024, we knew the issues. Some of the issues that went against us, cost of living, the economy. We also had strong points like, the free SHS, quality of education, free TVET. The point I'm trying to make is that in every election, there are things that play out, what usually the citizens will look out for. Even with the burden of the economy on us, we were able to win Akwatia narrowly. The NDC contested it in court that we didn't win the elections. After all the legal gymnastics, the gentleman was more or less confirmed as the MP for the Akwatia constituency.
Was it confirmed?
But the Supreme Court, yes.
No, that matter hasn't been.
No,
that matter
they've not made a determination.
Which one?
It was a contempt.
It was a contempt.
All right. So the matter was in court. But now the matter is there.
And what is very strange and interesting is that you have a party that says that, look, this our guy is the one that the constituency believe in and want to lead them. He won the election, the NDC. And then, by God's own arrangement, instead of you contesting the thing in court, God now calls this guy, okay, leave the scene. Now the seat that you say is yours is now vacant. And then this party that says that we want this seat, they now go for primaries and take out the one they were arguing in court was a favorite of the constituency and bring the lawyer that was fighting the case.
The lawyer was not on the ballot. Maybe they found the lawyer to be better.
Every election starts
Oh,
from 0.
the time they were arguing in court, they were not telling the judges that this lawyer.
The lawyer didn't contest the election.
No, but my point is that whatever arguments were being made was to the effect that he is the one that the people, the overwhelming majority, had confidence in. Is it not interesting that when the seat now became vacant, the one who the NDC believes had to be sent through the courts to be confirmed as the one that the people believe in? They say, no, you shouldn't go.
No, because he contested the election. Maybe he didn't perform as marvelously as they would have wanted.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, so, I like the way you put it. Yeah. Not as marvelous.
Maybe. Or maybe they found the lawyer to be better.
So, that's an intriguing or interesting thing that has to come
interesting,
out.
actually.
Yes.
And I wonder what conversation the lawyer had with his former client before putting in this.
As you are looking at client, lawyer, I'm also looking at the NDC part when they tell you that this is what we think happened, what it could be. One major advantage the NDC has going into this election is that the government has been formed by them. And so, unsurprisingly, their campaign everywhere is that give us power, give us a seat, and we'll do development projects. Is that not it?
But that's what their policies has become.
Okay.
But have you been there? Have you been there? Do we see? Have you seen?
No, I mean,
I've not heard issues about abuse of incumbency yet.
Oh, I'm coming there.
Have we seen that?
I'm coming there. Now, I think that's the main advantage. But if you check the history or our background as a country, it's not a given that once you give a seat to an incumbent government, you get the projects or development that they are promising. So this to the people of Akwatia. Remember, Talency, if it's by election that guarantees what will happen, I'm sure Talency would have been some very fantastic, in terms of projects, all their infrastructure would have been done. Almost, most of the constituents that went through by elections, they didn't really get the expected developments that were promised by the incumbent. So that's by the way. I think that the MPP is going in strong with the same message that, look, just as Ernest Kumi was trying his best to represent you, our gentleman would also do the same. I am not too worried about violence there because of the shame that came to us as a country and the police, looking at what happened at Ablikumanov. So I think that the shame is so much that they have gone, in fact, they are now being even excessive.
They have revised their notes.
Exactly. And, Selim, I think one day we must have this conversation. The reason why our police in Ghana, not necessarily under NDC, can be so impotent and sometimes so unreliable is how the head of the police is brought in. When the Constitution provided that the president should appoint the police, when we started, there was a lot of emphasis on the cohesion of the state. You didn't want from the beginning where everybody would be showing his power. Imagine if you had independently brought in the police. The president says, or the government wants to do this, I also do that. But after having traveled over 30 years, I think it is about time to find some amendments. So if we had a provision that said, let's say president appoints 3 commissioner COPs, and all police officers from ACP and onwards, if there are 500 in the police, they will vote on who will become the IGP. Tell them, if we have some checks and balances that grants or guarantees your tenure of office, we will then have police that will work with some SOPs, some standard operating procedures that will be assertive. Look, the things, I think one political professor said something which I agree. He said, look, the violence we had in previous by-elections was not because the police were not around. They were around, but they appeared either impotent or helpless. So what will make them act based on their training and the rules is when you know that when you do this particular act under, let's say, NDC, and they are in power, they can't take you out because they are not happy with you. So this is where we have to get to as a country. Look, in Lejekuku, after the election, I have some project I'm working on at Nigeria. NDC assemblymen, 2 gentlemen, led tax. They went there, broke doors, ransacked some of my items, and did a picture that I've stolen.
Private?
Yes, a private property. I wrote to the regional police. I presented myself 3 occasions, waited at the one Kabu Saint, the assemblyman, some electoral area guy and one other gentleman, waited at regional police 3 different occasions. Up to now, they are helpless. I have the complaint, the statement. They made me write a statement. To even get them to show up at the police, they are untouchables. This will continue in our republic until we do amendments that will allow the police. Look, the way Ghana is now, Salom, there are certain events. If you go and you see police presence, but there's political tainting of the program, it's better you take some precautions so that you don't get trouble.
Because the police won't come to your aid.
Because sometimes they see and they are helpless because of the current structure.
I see.
But I believe that Akwatia would not be as problematic.
That's the sentencing of the 8 persons who perpetrated that violent act in Ablekuma.
You know,
deter people.
Because I understand the difficulty of the police, I don't even want to go at them. You see, if you see the way these gentlemen were, these gentlemen is even used Advertisement, were treated, compare them to Sir Obama. He posted something, and just for posting, he had to be brought into police headquarters at dawn and all that. These guys didn't even see the. But he posted how do you call it, ammunition gun or whatever, and some video. But my point is that he posted a video, and police said they need him for yes.
But these people have been been arrested.
I said they didn't see. You see, let's be straight. They didn't see the confines of a cell for even 2 hours. These guys who were caught on video, more or less harming a female. They've never seen the cell of our country.
But they've been convicted and sentenced.
I'm coming there. The point I'm making is that others who are only needed for assisting the police slept in cell for 5, 6, 7 days. Those who were on a helpless lady were talked to at the police station. Charlie, go and come back later. Let's meet in court, and given a fine of 6,000 Ghana. Salom, if what it takes after beating someone you've marked or want to show a lesson is 6,000, Salom, then if I am able to save, let's say 30,000, it means I have about 6,530, about 6 sessions.
You can do more. You can do more harm.
I'm extremely surprised.
I'm coming. Let me call.
No, but I have 3 people on Zoom.
I'm extremely surprised.
All I'm trying, of course, me.
You were not like this.
I'm not. It's not in my nature.
Yes.
I mean, it was on the lighter side. But the point I want to make is that you have to make certain actions expensive. Don't let people try it.
But the record of sentencing, conviction.
No. That is commendable. But my point is that, in effect, you are telling them bring 6,000 cedis and go home. And I'm saying that even that amount is not.
So you think they should have been given a custodial sentence?
No. Even the amount, let them go through some difficulty to pay the amount.
Like sleeping in cell for a while?
No. It's not a cell.
That the fine should have been heftier.
Exactly.
So but we've seen 1,800 in the past when they went to brutalize the court in session.
I'm happy.
And when they went to UTV to disrupt the program, they were fined 2,400.
As a country, we have to make progress.
So this is progress, isn't it?
I mean, it's progress, but we can do way better.
We can do better. Okay, that's well noted. All right, I'll take a short break. When I come back, we'll hear from Franklin Kujo. We'll hear from Dr. Akwatia, and then we will also hear from Michael Donina Mensah. Don't go away.
In Ghana, West Africa, the mornings are somewhat, if not for the perfect companion. What a good day to start. Work is always effective with NASCO Home Appliances. Classic home appliance for the fisher folks. And Nijepa, I want NASCO feel. NASCO, bring home happiness.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes.
He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used,
the more money he makes.
Oh yes. So, what are you waiting for?
Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money.
Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valix Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Final lap of the program, dealing with Akwatia and roping in the Ablekuma North conviction and sentencing. A quick message here from Harry says, asking security services to vote for their commanders is an incredibly bad idea. We have the police council, make that independent and allow them to either appoint the top 3 layers of the service or recommend those leaders to the president for appointment. Yes, I think the point he was making generally is how to make it independent. So this is also another good one. Franklin, morning. Good to have you. Akwatia, what are your expectations? And are you impressed with the Ablekuma North conviction and sentencing? And would that deter people planning evil in Akwatia to have a rethink?
Thanks, everybody. Good to see you, Dr. Kuboy. Good to see you, Michael. Good to see you, my own AP. Fred. Well, look, I'm not too sure I'm happy about the sentencing in the case of Ablekuma, because I think they should have been punished a lot more, so that the people are deterred from getting involved in all these acts of violence and what I call hooliganism, electoral hooliganism. So I'm not entirely happy about it. But well, look, when Dr. Kuboy was speaking about the professionalism of the police, expected of the police, I just said to myself, if the NPP had treated Dampare a little bit better, I'm not too sure he would have been fast-tracked. His exit would have been fast-tracked the way it was done. Don't forget that the Imani took the case to court because we wanted to actually get an interpretation as to whether a president can actually remove a certain, or appoint an IGP or service commanders per se. I think apart from the army chief. But okay, that case was not heard anyway. I'm just saying that the optics of not treating the particular service commander well can feed into how he's treated if the tables turn politically. So that's that for Kuboy. Well, look, Akwatia, by the way, I think I hold the view that Professor Prempeh shared, HKP Prempeh of CDD. That look, we need to get to that point where if a particular party loses a candidate, during the term of a government, I think the best thing to do is to just field the candidate and then we move on instead of wasting all this money, raising all these pressure for ourselves, tension and all of that for the country. I don't think it's fair. To think that you're hearing that about 5,000 service people are going to Akwatia, is it a war zone? I'm just wondering. Is it really 5,000 Salon? Is it 5,000? That's quite strange, really, to think that 5,000 men have to police a by-election. I don't think we are going to kill people there.
They don't want to take anything for granted. That's what they are doing.
I understand, but then, well, maybe in the entire country then must have many soldiers during the main elections. You don't know what we should be doing. Even when you have no soldiers, you are disenfranchised. Look at what happened to South. So you can imagine these kinds of things happening today. I don't think it speaks well for our democracy. And I understand what Fred said, that look, if anything goes negative in this by-election, that would be the tagline for the Ghanaian political scene for some time until the next election, which is why I suspect that the party should have probably just accepted. And I think the NPP brought the idea that, look, we will contest Tamale, is it Tamale North or Tamale Central? Central, in honor of the fallen hero, but then also you don't contest here. Well, some people say it was hypocritical because they knew they were going to lose anyway. That Tamale Central. I think they did it in all honesty, and I think that it spoke to the point that look, if you are a subsisting party, and in this case, the NDC has so many parliamentarians, I don't know what they need under MP for, you know. But well, they'll say that it's elections, and they want to show their verve, and they want to show how ready they are for the next election. Fred, you can't always be in an electoral mode after an election. You always have to think about the country in a way, you know. So I'm not buying your argument that it's also a test of the NDC's resolve to see how they'll prepare for the main election. But anyway, look, I expected the NPP to also show up a candidate who probably, I don't know the candidate that well, and I don't know what if he won, his addition to Parliament's growth would have been. I mean, that would be the basis of which I would make some of this assessment anyway, because I think somehow if you have a candidate who has that, you know, that can make the mighty feel a bit more maturity feel in terms of their voice, then you are going somewhere. But I don't know the candidate, so I can't tell. But whatever it is, it's just an election. It's just a by-election. And I don't see why we want to kill ourselves and then arm ourselves to the teeth.
Very well.
It's just a by-election. Right?
Very well. Great. But on a lighter note, Fred says you owe him a borehole. That's your constituency. So just take note. That's preparing towards it. All right.
Fred, we are meeting shortly. Okay. You know that I'm not running away. We are the one running away.
That's fine. All right. So let me speak to Michael Donyina Mensah. Just 2 minutes. He's executive director for the Center for Public Opinion and Awareness. And what signals are you picking on the ground? Are we going into this election confident that there will be no security breaches, that people are aware of the choices they are making, etc.? Just 2 minutes.
I can't trust that, and I have no confidence in such a statement. I think that I agree with Bright that Akwatia is a test case because we heard of Ayawaso, we heard of Ablekuma, and the politicians, you know, each blaming each other. And this one will be a test case because if they really want to nip in the bud issues of hooliganism during elections, then this will be the real test case to see if the politicians are learning a lesson. I believe that we have these issues just because the politicians are refusing to be disciplined because there are laws. The electoral laws covers how elections are run, even 24 hours before elections. All campaigning must stop. You know, if you have nothing doing at the polling station, you don't have to loiter about, you know. But the politicians create the problem and they expect the police to come solve it. Just imagine we have like 5,500 policemen being reportedly sent to Akwatia for a voter population of about 52,000. That means one person, one police to 10 people. Look at the logistics, the amount of money that is going to be spent on this by-election alone. And I also want to agree with him again regarding the issue of taking a look at our by-elections because there are certain ramifications. For example, the previous government, the previous MPP government, we saw how there was a tie in parliament. So just one by-election can actually change a lot. And imagine if we have to change from majority to minority just because of a by-election and things like that. So it is something that I feel that the Constitutional Review Committee should consider and look at. But talking about the convictions, I am very disappointed. Why am I disappointed? They were convicted on assault and conspiracy to cause assault. I think the judge did not consider the public interest nature of the crime because, fine, the individuals were assaulted, but, you know, they were assaulted at the police station. And, you know, such actions really strike the very heart of democracy when people try to create an environment that makes it hostile for people to be able to go out and cast their vote. So with that, I think that, well, it's a good attempt. It's a good beginning because we've seen others in the past. But I feel that the judge could have actually done better just to serve as a deterrent because such judgments make us feel that there are some underpinnings or some hands behind it. But let's just hope that this is just the beginning and then future and subsequent this thing will be better.
So, Michael, we'll talk more on this. Interesting points you've raised there. Dr. Akwada, I mean, just a few thoughts, then we wrap up this discussion. Can we go into this election hoping that it will be incident-free?
Well, that is our hope. We are hoping that we'll go into this incident, this election as well, and come out you know, as peaceful as possible. But like the MP said, since 1992, all by-elections have been characterized with some form of violence. And so I will not be surprised if this one comes out, with some sense of violence. But here again, the government appears to be dealing with it, because in just recent past, we've seen a couple of them, Ayawaso, and we had to demand and kept calling for, some legal actions to be pressed on, perpetrators of such violence, but we saw very little. So yes, the court may have slapped, just the back of these people, their hands, and say, go and say no more. But I believe it's an action. It will send some deterrence around. We are hoping that, the police deploying over 5,500, security, officers to Akwatia, with a population of, an estimate of about 20 to 25,000,
no, it's more
means
than,
that the police to...
It's more, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, around 30,000, I think, means that the police to civilian ratio is really going to be very manageable. To that extent, I'm hoping that it does not cause any voter intimidation. And I'm hoping that if we are going to have this kind of ratio on the ground, this should be our best by-election in history.
Very well.
And I also think that persistent calls by political actors, against persons like the military, other security services,
will make them do better.
It's not a very good thing. It's not a very good thing to say that, hey, if we see the military in Akwatia, we are going to, take care of them in our own way. I think that such calls should be condemned without any reservations at all. We do not have to endanger the lives of our security officers while they are performing their duty or going about their regular, everyday lives.
Very well. Thanks so much, Emmanuel Akwada. Nana Yawakwada, thanks so much. We've run out of time.
I know your time. Yes. I completely disagree with those who are making the case that the judgment, the punishment that was given to
the 6,000,
the 6,000 was not good.
You think it's big enough?
It's a very, very, very good start.
I see.
It's a very, very good start.
All right.
That for the first time, the judge has given the courage. In time past, judges were even threatened that if they like, they should sentence the people and they will see what will happen in this country.
Well, this is how we conclude today's edition of the program. Thanks so much. Jeff Nasari was here earlier. Fred Agbanyo just speaking. Dr. Okoboy, former minister. Franklin Kojo, Nana Akwada, and then Michael Donyina. My name is Selom Aduno. Have a good afternoon.